to conquer the world.
I'll tell you what terrible thing I did with Risk later.
All right, folks, here we are. It must be Thursday night. It has been a couple of weeks since we have been here, so I appreciate you guys coming back and hanging out with us tonight while we play some Dungeons and Dragons. We are here playing Land Between Two Rivers, which is a post-apocalyptic science fantasy D&D campaign in which many shenanigans and hijinks are had. But before that, let's get to know some of our players, who they're going to be playing tonight, and how they've been since last we met. Grant, you want to kick us off tonight?
Yeah, let me fix your face, because we're like right up inside your nostrils on that. Yeah, so, hi, everybody. My name is Grant Ellis, and I'm bad at Twitch. So, give me 1 second. There, he's fixed. Ish. I'm in... Ooh. Sorry, this is going to bother me all night. There. Ta-da! There. He's been gemmed. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. I have a whole spiel that I usually say, but I'm just happy to be back in the Land Between Two Rivers. I'm currently the Dungeon Master for RPG Sports, a competitive role-playing experience that pits player against player, and I'm also playing Gildan Goblin tonight, who, it's time for Gildan to hit that next level.
Yeah.
Wait, in
terms of what? Like, I'm kind of afraid to ask what that means.
All right. So there's Gildan.
There's Gildan.
Then there's gonna be.
Which I'm glad.
And think of it this way. So in Portuguese, if you end a word with "ow," it means you've gotten bigger. So he's gonna go from Gildan to Gildao. I think it's time someone casts enlarge on him, and he's full-size Gildan.
Full-size Gildan.
Yes.
That sounds wonderful.
Probably that's happened before.
Lindy, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing super duper spiffy. I am happy to be here and play some Land Between Two Rivers. I am going to be playing Mer Valentine, a completely innocent, like, chaotic good tiefling. And
tell us more.
Yes, she's she's great, and yeah, she's got a lot of plans up her sleeves. She's extraordinarily paranoid, and is ready to go. Let's do some stuff.
Excellent. And TK, how are you this frosty evening?
Doing very well. Hoping my internet holds up. I write spooky stories, and I'm playing Icky, and we're not super happy about things that are going down, but that's usually how it is. Also, I think my daughter is paralyzed. I'm concerned. I'm stressed out, Jim.
You haven't even started.
I know. I didn't get to kill any teenagers last week, and I'm stressed out.
Yes, that'll do that. That'll happen when you don't get that teenage homicide out. Anna is enjoying some time at the beach this week and taking the week off. But Ellie, when last we met, Ellie was suffering from a bit of ghoulish paralysis, so that might explain some things. Josh, how are you doing this week?
Okay. I'm awake. I am a mammal.
Wow.
And that is all I can say for myself right now.
Two universal things that we all share in common at the moment.
Most of us.
Some of our mammalian heritage is disputed. So that's great. And you will, of course, be playing Blue this week, yes?
Yes, the Barmaniac druid, who ironically wants to drown everybody.
Yes. Well, I mean, multifaceted and complex individual. Sure. Our Land Between Two Rivers is brought to you in part by our sponsor, Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out for any dice jails, mugs. They've got all sorts of gameplay aids, and they're constantly innovating and the like. I have personal appreciation for Tabletop Loot myself because we just got back from Gamepole Con, and it was really awesome to pass out little bags of dice and inspiration like a Frankish warlord distributes coins and golden forks after a raid on a Roman border fort. So that was really fun. You should go check them out. And let's see where we were last time. I think last time we played, the party had rendezvoused with Icky's brother and his band of ne'er-do-wells and scalawags, desert scalawags, of course, that he calls a crew, where they mingled. There was a bit of goblin wrestling, a bit of rest and relaxation on the part of Myrrh, I believe. And then the party parted ways with Rix's band and traveled eastward across the dry savannah in pursuit of false Ellie, who had stolen some things from Myrrh and attempted the murder of Ellie, their adopted human companion and I guess adopted human daughter in this case. And the party, as they were traveling across the savannah at night, was stopped by what appeared to be a group of necrophages and other eaters of the dead that were blocking the party's path in some way. They dismounted from their air skiff and after a brief battle, dispatched with the first sort of group of these ghoulish figures that had emerged from the undergrowth. And as you are kind of coming down off of that initial encounter there, you look around the savannah as it seems a little bit darker than it was just a couple of minutes ago. Now it's nighttime, but the invisible eye of the hateful orc god still gazes down upon the land, and even at night, the landscape is bathed in a dim red light. That dim red light is slowly fading, and it is about to be completely dark out here in the savannah. Looking around you as you survey your surroundings immediately after this fight is over, you can see multiple bodies. Some of them appear to be feral gnolls, and others of them are wearing sort of wasteland type equipment. They're potentially wasteland inhabitants themselves, or maybe raiders or traders or something. But you can see that their bodies are scattered all about, both to the immediate north and the immediate south of you, as well as what appear to be about just under 2 foot long iron darts. They look more like a metal arrow that has a weight towards the front end of it. And they're scattered all about. Some of the bodies of the wastelanders are pierced by them, and others of them just sort of lying amongst the grasses and short little shrubby bushes that are about here. I'm curious, because everyone had dismounted and was fighting, and I do believe that everybody had sort of like run up. There was a wall of fire, and everybody was kind of close to the front lines at the end of that last fight. So I'd like to know from you guys, Croythoik's pulling a paralyzed Ellie back to the skiff. How about the rest of you guys? What's your initial reaction after that first encounter?
Oh, just fought some undead, and I believe that there was a wall of fire, so there's a lot of fire right now.
Mm-hmm. Parts of the grassland had been set on fire. I think Blue had started to quench those with your controlled flames cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, none of the other undead that are about are paying attention to you. However, you guys did just unleash several very loud and bright spells in the middle of the night. There was a thunder wave, wall of fire, great big channel divinity a couple times. So you guys lit up the night very briefly. Whether something is coming for you, you're not sure quite yet.
Well, I'll work on fire duty for now.
Okay, so Blue is still quenching fires.
I'm gonna have keep my sitar out in case I need to shoot something with it.
Okay.
Like,
So
I'm just keeping an wary eye on other undead in the area, because there's a lot of them apparently, and that's not good.
Okay, so I can take a perception check from her. How about Icky, and then we'll get to Gildan.
Icky's just kind of keeping an eye out, hoping she doesn't have to fight any more dead things or eaters of the dead. She will examine one of their bodies.
Okay. Specifically one of like the ghoulish undead's bodies, the necrophages.
Yes, preferably one that's been like lit up by fire as opposed to just dead.
Okay. And then how about Gildan?
Gildan's... I think what Gildan's going to do is he's essentially on alert now. And I feel that he will start to... He's going to start... He wants to start tracking and looking for the source of what we can define as the problem. And that would be, where are these guys coming from? We've got a hole somewhere and undead are springing out of it. Let's cork it.
Okay. So in that case, we've got with Blue extinguishing the fires. Myr, what was Myr's perception?
13.
13. And then I need for Icky either a survival or investigation roll, your choice. And then a survival roll from Gildan.
Oh, D&D Beyond, why? It's not its fault, it's my fault.
No. Let's get him on the phone.
Oh, it's definitely going to be survival. That's a 16. 21.
21 for Icky. How about for Gildan?
Gildan, adding his proficiency modifier. Oh, he's not even proficient. Bum, bum, bum. He's still got a 19.
Nice. All right, so we'll run through this. Here's what you each sort of discover in these first couple of moments afterwards. Blue, you notice yourself, as you're quenching fires and sort of observing the bodies of all that are around, none of them have been stripped of their equipment. They have weapons and armor and the like, packs of supplies just strewn about the savannah. You can see as you're moving through and preventing another wildfire. Overturned vehicles, slain mounts, that kind of thing. In terms of Myr, you see similar things as you're just sort of, I guess, on a slightly elevated position. Look out, you can see that a bit. But you also hear shouting and what you think are pistol shots from the south of you. Sort of distant, but definitely, actually, everybody heard the pistol shot. Myr hears shouting and other things accompanying it. For Icky, you're looking at this necrophage, and it's I mean, you're a wasteland resident. There's a reason most people don't travel at night, and the group of you have gotten away with it just because you travel so quickly and quietly. But most people stay out of the desert at night because there's all kinds of weird undead creatures and abominations that come out. This seems like one of those, but you know from your experience, they don't usually gather in herds this big unless lured to a place. And then it's pretty common wasteland bandit tactics to leave a bunch of dead bodies somewhere to attract necrophages if you want to use them as a trap. That's what Icky knows. Gildan, you find knoll tracks heading east from where you are, as well as the aforementioned bodies that haven't been looted and gunshot.
The Invincible Army is on the move.
The smell of death is overpowering for all of you.
These are zombie gnolls. I'm out of here.
You could bottle it and spritz it like a cologne.
So right now you're kind of in an open area. There's the occasional tree, mostly short grass, doesn't even come up to your shins. That's what you can see immediately around you.
I'm calling out knoll tracks, and I'm just going to be like following them nose to the ground, like the dog from the Looney Tunes cartoon. Just
okay. Gildan takes off east.
Does Icky have any reason to believe that Icky's immediately going to suspect Rick's, even if it's unlikely? Does Icky have any reason to believe that Rick's would be shepherding them into a trap like this? or would have known but chose not to say anything? He did warn them about bandit activity, but
he warned some of that. None of the weapons you see around here that have been used, particularly to kill these wastelanders, you don't recognize that as anything that Rix's crew would use. These weighted metal darts.
okay.
But it is odd that he was supposed to be going ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that you haven't heard from him is notable.
Okay. She's going to look for some sign that Rix has like made a marker to avoid it or go around it or something like that, because it could be that it was clear when he went through and they've just only come this way. So she's going to look for some marker or sign that he's been through ahead of them. Okay.
All right. Your survival roll that you had earlier, it was what, 23?
21.
21. Looking about both at this scene and for some additional clues, you're not sure that you can that you see anything like that around here. You do, however, as all this is going on, hear 2 more gunshots. Everybody does, and a flash of some sort of light to the south. Before we get to, let's see, Blue, you're still doing your thing. Looks like you're gonna take a look to the south, I guess.
Did Rix's crew have guns? I'm sorry.
Yes, 2 of them bore firearms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
We should take one of these weighted darts.
Yes. I have
even if we don't
pick one up.
Okay, good. Even if we don't in the moment have time to look at it, we should look at it.
Okay, you got that. You can see more necrophages closing in. You have moments before they will be close at hand. So are you guys going to follow Gildan as he's tracking through? What are y'all?
I'm on the skiff, and I want to look through my spyglass to the south and see if I can catch a better glimpse of what's going on.
Okay, give me a perception test at disadvantage with that, because there's something that's blocking out both the sunlight and the star, or the dim red light as well as starlight. And making it incredibly dark.
D&D Beyond. With disadvantage, it's a 14. It's not bad.
You think you can see shapes silhouetted against a low hill, maybe 500 feet or so south, and you catch a glimpse of a muzzle flash from something on that hill as it seconds later.
Now, does it look like a really small group, or does it look like a larger group, like maybe Rix's group?
It looks like a small group.
Well, I will just relay that information then.
Yeah.
Pretty small group.
Jim.
Listening.
How often does the second sun, this red sun, how often is that blotted out?
Never. When it's in season, it is always in the sky.
Yeah, it's always in the sky. Okay. Can I tell, like can I examine the sky? Could I see anything, in other words?
You cannot see the sky from your vantage point. You're relying 100% on your dark vision now, and you can see that you're in pretty much pitch blackness. But Croythoit can confirm he can't see shit, and he has.
Yeah, I just tell him to sit on the thing and watch after Ellie.
Yeah, he hasn't lit up a light or anything. As far as I know, y'all have no light sources at the moment. Y'all are running full dark. Because you all have dark vision.
Yeah, and I guess I put out the wildfire.
Yeah.
How fast does my skiff go?
So your skiff has a base movement speed of 50, but it can dash basically. It can do that pretty much indefinitely, except you will start having to make tests to control it. So
theoretically, I could swing south real quick and still be like only a round or 2 away from Gildan.
Yes, this terrain that you're in right now is very bumpy.
Okay.
It's not necessarily difficult terrain for you, but just going full speed on it.
Not advisable.
Your skiff has no seats, no straps, a very low rail only on 2 sides. The back is open and doesn't have much of even anything in front. So it's a rough ride if you go full speed.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason in my head, Jim, it was the shape of a couch, like from Return to Oz, you know? just riding a couch.
I
don't know.
pictured Jabba the Hutt, like skiff.
I think
okay.
that was where my head was.
That makes more sense than.
But I like a couch that skims across the desk.
I mean, yeah. Well, specifically, like I thought maybe it opened from the side and that it had
right.
arms.
Who else on the skiff with Myrrh? We're about just a couple seconds before we're gonna have to roll
initiative again. Mer will be like, follow Gildan or check out to the south. It'll be very brief either way.
I'm gonna stick with Gildan. For now.
You and Gildan are gonna go track. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
You know
I'll
what
stick
Gildan's
with
gonna do?
Mur and my paralyzed child.
Okay. Then I need stealth rolls from Baloo and Gildan.
But I'm not sneaking.
Unless you're not trying to sneak, in which case don't worry
I'm
about
not so much. In fact, what I was going to do is that thing I always do when we have no light source. I was going to cast Produce Flame or Continual Flame on my head and make my head illuminated again and fiery, so I look frightening like Ghost Rider.
Well,
I need a little hover cycle.
Distraction for you then.
Oh yeah. You do that immediately.
Yeah, just because otherwise it's dark, and even though I have dark vision is seriously overrated by people that play 5th edition D&D. Yeah, you can't. You're still at like disadvantage on perception checks, and it ain't great.
60 foot of grayscale sight with disadvantage. Okay, so Gildan lights his head up. You guys can keep track of where he is, and as long as you keep moving, you might avoid some of the necrophages who have plenty to eat all around you.
I got a 16 to stealth, Jim. I'm going to shadow him.
Blue is nevertheless shadowing.
Vicky is cool with it. I think Mer wants to swing south in the skiff real quick.
That's fine.
Okay.
Icky will
Gildan
go
and Baloo
ahead
got it.
Yeah. Icky
And
will
if not-
produce flame and light her hooded lantern.
Okay. All right, then. So we've got. We'll handle here real quick because Mer, are you going full speed on your skiff?
I'll go, full speed. So like 100, like the dash, yeah.
Okay. So it's going to take you about a minute to get to that hill. Do the two of you do anything to prepare in that minute or so?
I will be ready to cast. Look at my spells real quick. It's been a while. I'll be ready to cast Shatter, I think.
Okay, so kind of got that readied.
Yeah, just ready to. I'll be driving over there.
Gotcha.
Just in case.
Anything for Icky as you quickly come up on this hill?
I'm looking at, I don't even know why I bothered looking at my spells. I'm kind of like, no. She will pull out her bow and hold an action for somebody attacking. Specifically, anybody who is close enough to attack the skiff.
Gotcha.
Because if they're using magic, it's like, well.
Yeah. I understand. So, like, you've got an arrow sort of on the string, kind of half, ready to go. All right.
Yeah.
You pull up swiftly to this hill, and you really, without the spyglass, it's difficult to tell what's going on. You hear one more shot as you're headed there, as well as what sounds like someone casting a spell or something. And as you're pulling up, there is a flash of blue electric light as something on the top of the hill, maybe like an arrow or something, is released from a bow and then like turns into lightning and streaks out. And there are 4 figures on top of this low hill, sort of silhouetted against the flashes of light that they're producing and what little light there is left here. They look like a rather large, squarish figure that's wielding what appears to be like maybe 2 clubs. Another large figure that definitely has horns sort of curved out from its head. What appears to be maybe an orc archer. And then what for all the world looks like some sort of humanoid insect on a set of wings with great big claws and a swollen aft section with a great big stinger on it, flying low and buzzing and attacking the necrophages that are attempting to get up and get them on the hill. Mer, you're in the driver's seat. How do you come into this scene?
With style. So, pulling up. They're on the top of the hill. I'm guessing the necrophages are coming up the other side, and we're coming from like this way. I just want to like swing around the hill so that like the broad, like, you know, maybe like drift a little so the broad side's facing it, so that Icky can have a, you know, good look at these necrophages. And then I'm gonna just do a strum on my sitar and release a shatter on the necrophages on the hill.
Nice. All right, give me an intelligence check for piloting the skiff, and can otherwise cast your spell. Icky, you can take that ready to action as well.
This looks so cool. That is a 22.
Sweet. Called the Trade Town Drift.
Yeah.
Thanks. Up points.
Your air skiff comes in broadside, giving Icky a good platform just to shoot from. Croythor's got a javelin ready. He's going to jump.
Yeah. It sounded so good that I was like, what?
Yeah, and I'll need all those, however many necrophages I can fit within a 20-foot diameter sphere.
There's at least 4 of them in there.
Okay, I need them to make me Constitution saving throws.
All right, here we go. You know what I realized playing real life games this last week at GameholeCon, that playing online, I have become such the worst die thrower. I was like chunking it across the table. It was like falling off. I was
throwing it in people's faces. Just there you go.
That's what I get.
You're getting rusty, Jim.
I know, right? It looks like one of them passed, Lindy.
God.
Okay, so he'll only take half damage.
Okay.
This is going to be thunder damage, and that is 20 points of thunder damage.
Oh,
Nice.
I rolled real good.
That's a good shatter.
That's a great shatter.
God.
Yeah.
All right. So like 3 of them burst like Gallagher watermelons with their putrid guts all over each other.
Heck yes.
Magic.
Yeah.
Thrown back.
Perfect.
And you can see what.
Like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like Guitar Wave style.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Crumpler, for the sub. Really appreciate it.
Crumpler.
Hope you're at PAX South again. Although maybe next time we'll get to a convention closer to you.
I'm just gonna write in the notes: bursting 3 enemies like overfilled water balloon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And what was Icky's? Their AC like 11.
That's a bonus action.
It was like an 11. It's. Oh,
No, their AC is like super low.
Oh, cool. Well, I shot an 11. So
okay.
Did that work?
Yes, that'll hit.
Really?
That
I'm
will hit.
so happy. I was like, maybe I should lie. I didn't. And I was like, nah. 1d6 plus 2.
You're
8.
8. That will finish off the last one that passed the shatter. So the area immediately around your skiff is cleared, and you know there's none trying to get up on or anything. But Korthwick has his axe at the ready to attack anyone that attempts to board.
Good, as he should.
Are you like trying to get them off the hill? What's
I'll just hail them, see how they're doing. Like, greetings. Are you having a little bit of fun here?
Oh yeah, they see you come up, that you let off a shatter, makes a big loud blast, and they are like practically running down the hill towards the air skiff.
Okay.
At you, and are just like, wait, hold up, don't leave us behind. That kind of.
I'll hover. You know, Mer's okay with saving people because it means they owe her later.
Ew. Throw your valuables on the skiff and we'll go.
Yeah,
we'll come back for you.
You can always rob them while they sleep or murder them and then steal their stuff. So, you know, it's fine.
You guys are mean.
Yes.
It's 4 of Rix's men. It is Slort, the Orc Archer, Clovis, the Minotaur Warrior, and then Geralt, the Gif Pistolier, and Frankie the Bee.
Frankie the Bee! We had to say Frankie.
I was like, Jim, are you introducing Thrycreen?
No, it's a werebee.
That's all. It's just a werebee.
Anyway, so we'll get back to that in just a sec. Gildan, with yes, you had 3 tiny servants made of null bones marching behind you.
Around me.
Around you. I forget what their names were. Spot, Sparky, and Moon.
Spot, Sparky, and Moon.
Spot, Sparky, and Moon. Gildan is somewhere. I don't know if you might not even know. Or sorry, that Baloo is nearby.
No.
You were spotting multiple knoll tracks, many of them headed east. The ones that you found were sort of located in a cluster of trees and some of the underbrush that was underneath it. Clearly a position of hiding of some kind. And you've continued now to keep tracking them east, dodging necrophages as you go.
So here's kind of what we're going to do. I think I'm going to tell my tiny servants. Let me look up some details of the spell, because essentially I can command them. They'll do things for me. They have blind sight. They don't need to see. Can just kind of... They may need to just start patrolling the area, but they can't really communicate back to us. And they're... This is the same problem Mickey Mouse had in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. You know, I could tell them to carry buckets of water, but eventually everything will flood and Yensid will kill me. It's kind of a dark ending. So that's what they did to Mickey, right? They decapitated. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think I'm just gonna keep following the tracks for a while. Gilda needs very little sleep. He doesn't. You know, he's generating a healthy amount of light, which will literally last until he tells it to go away. So yeah, he's just gonna kind of keep following, but kind of keep his keen senses out to try to gather clues as to what all has gone down here. There must be something more significant than just simply a warband passing through, or bandits or marauders. Surely this is some sign of a greater, larger miracle about to unfold. Perhaps a flood. Yeah,
So I need a couple things then. As you move past this initial strand of trees into an open space, it looks like maybe there's a stretch of 500 or 600 feet ahead of you before you actually can't really see that far. As far as you can see, it's grassland past this strand of trees. Give me a perception test from Gildan, and Baloo, you can as well, as the two of you emerge from this this thing and have a bit of a clearer view.
I got a 17.
17. Okay. You sort of in the distance can spot the orange glow of fires quite a bit of ways away, and you spot them both to the north and to the south of you. Other than that, Gildan, you really just can tell that the knoll tracks you were following, they it's like individual clusters of knolls joining a larger group, and you are tracking what must be a main group of them, because there's probably a dozen or more tracks of where you're at.
So could they have been part of I was just going to ask, could they have been part of that those games, the wars?
That's the ritual wars that you found.
Excuse me.
That's way back west, past.
Okay.
Yeah. This would be.
So they wouldn't be up this far.
Right. That's and for as fast as they're probably traveling, that's probably like a week or more away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
that was
okay. Do you have any more, Josh?
No.
Just cause,
No,
okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Gildan, being a cleric, I believe does have some writing supplies, and he is literate, surprisingly. What I think I'm going to do, this is either really smart or really stupid, is write identical notes and pin them to two tiny servants and send them marching to either fire and ask if Gildan the Prophet is welcome. And and there's going to be a circle yes or no, and then they're going to bring them back to Gildan. If they don't come back at all, Gildan is clearly not welcome. They better not break my little man's arms, and they come limping back.
I love it. It's like grade school rules.
All right.
Do you like me? Circle
Yes.
Y, circle N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can get it. What if you get
Yeah.
it back and it's a circle N? Well,
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
not
Well,
welcome,
then
but-
everyone knows, and you can't even go to lunch anymore, man. It stinks. Out comes like all this like
what's the
middle
speed
school
on
grant
the,
stuff, and then you don't date girls for the next 30 years or boys. It doesn't matter. It's
what's the speed on a tiny serpent?
yeah. They're gonna pin little notes to the tiny servants and send them off. It's worth a shot.
Okay. So you've got two of those. You've got one left. How about, are you stopping where you're at? Or are you going to keep going?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop where I'm at. Just because he might as well send out his probes and see if the probes come back. And Gildan's going to start setting up a little camp. He's lived in the waste a long time. He's not going to bed, but it's just he may be here for a little while.
Okay. How about Baloo?
Since he's working on this, one of his little tricks, Blue will show himself and kind of watch over him while he does it.
Okay.
He shows himself. That's terrifying. Just like Ribbit steps out of the dark. And it's just,
he's a big cuddly bugbear who sometimes surprises you.
Sometimes. All right. So Baloo reveals himself.
Also, is there any break in the sky? Like if I sit there and watch, does it look like cloud cover?
Looks like
anything
smoke.
like that?
If you watch
Like
it for a long time, you look like smoke. You can occasionally see glimpses. It looks like smoke. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's a slight breeze. There's a slight, not breeze, but a strong breeze coming out from west to east, sort of like blowing it over.
There's all the signs of a mass conflict in the area.
So for those of you back at the small hill, it appears as though both Slorp and Clovis are heavily wounded. Clovis's fur is sort of slick with blood, and Slorp is limping towards the air skiff. If you'd like to stay and fight some more of the necrophages, you're more than welcome. But with your speed and maneuverability, you could easily get away.
Yeah, like there's always gonna be more dead apparently in Mer's opinion. She's like, we can't kill them all, they're just gonna come back. There's no point. So as soon as they're on the skiff, she'll just kind of like start backing out and being like, oh, so where is everyone else? Are you a forward scouting party?
Clovis
They're all dead?
looks like no, we were sent back to find you. We ran into this some kind of ambush or something. We were separated from the rest, and we knew that we tried to warn you, but. And he sort of like trails off.
Inside checking.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since Icky saw no signs that there was a warning sketched in or anything. I know he says it's an ambush, but no, it's cool. Icky probably believes him because this is a garbage roll.
16.
16. He seems truthful.
Okay.
He seems like in a bit of shock and oriented.
I wasn't going to inside check him, but Mer's paranoid. So. She's going to inside check him.
Right.
It's not called dice.
Take now that there's a bit of reprieve.
Which direction is this ambush?
All around, as far as we knew, it seems as though someone's drawn a bunch of them here, and I don't know about if back west there's anything, but we ran headlong into them, headed east.
Right.
It's gotten dark, and
Yes.
you can see they're reloading weapons and tending to that kind of thing. Where are you guys headed?
Probably towards the general direction of Gildan, because he doesn't have a specific, like, oh, the rest of the guys were exactly that way. She's just going to meet up with Gildan and them. We're like, well, we run into them, we run into them.
Okay. All right. So give me a perception check to see how long it takes you to find his light.
Oh. Super cocked.
Put a bucket over my head. Suffocate.
Can we get assistance from Skitterstep? I feel like Gildan counts as meat.
I am meat, and I count as it.
Delicious meat.
It's fine.
Skinner's
Mer's
about
not
to-
like
We should
in
be
a
friends.
rush, if that makes sense. Oh, we find Gildan dead. We find Gildan dead. It was
Right.
oh.
Yeah. You know
We
the
should
general
find
direction.
Baloo.
We should. I feel like Baloo can take care of himself, especially with Gildan. So it's. I doubt we will find either of them dead. But
Hey, Blue, remember that suicide pact we made when we were kids? We just...
All right, so it takes you a bit of time then to find Gildan's light and make your way to him. In the meantime, both Gildan and Baloo can hear the sounds of like rusted metal and something crashing or stomping through the brush around here. You're starting to set up camp. It sort of creeps up on you. It seems like it's headed maybe from the northeast, further south, but it's getting steadily louder and louder as you're fortifying this immediate area that you're in.
Must be a T-Rex. I hope it's not a T-Rex. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send Pringle, Moon.
All right.
All right, Moon.
Go out.
Go find out what that is.
Okay. Moon goes out to check.
Can't be frightened, surprised, paralyzed, or anything.
Oh, nice.
Please, Moon. Don't fail me.
Baloo?
Yeah, I'm just going to be on full alert. There's not much I can do preventative.
Okay.
From a preventative standpoint, but I'll be ready with a spike growth if I think something is approaching, particularly if it's going slowly.
Okay.
Well, not slowly, but-
watch Moon in the light of your light or continual flame spell move off into the grassland, and let me see. You don't have any special link with it. You can't really like.
What I should have done is done my little seeing eye spell on top of his head, but I didn't. I could have done like arcane eye or whatever,
Which
I still could possibly do and float out there with him. Might have even been smarter than to send the little guy, but especially when he comes back, it's not like he can tell us what he saw. I'm really bad at D&D, guys.
Gildan is an enigma, and that's okay. Sometimes he does weird things.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you
Sometimes
hear
they're brilliant.
sort of loud metallic scraping sounds, and it's only a couple of moments later before at the edge of the continual light, you see this hulking sort of quadrupedal shape moving in not like in a regular pattern through the grassland, and it appears like to have some sort of shell or something with all sorts of spikes and jagged hooks and barbs hanging off of it, and what it looks to be a whole mess of corpses that are slammed onto these barbs and spikes as it kind of ambles through the grassland, picking things up and slamming them onto its spiked back. But it is definitely a construct, and appears ancient and weather worn.
This is like right out of the ultraviolet grasslands. We got to be careful. So it's like, all right, Gildan's thinking about hiding himself. Baloo, open your pouch. So I don't know.
Get in.
Get in. So here's what Gildan can do. Nada.
Yeah. Do we know anything about constructs? Like, would I, with my arcane knowledge, or actually, Gildan, you have arcane or arcana too, don't you?
Yeah, proficient in Arcana.
Oh, you know? Okay.
Proficient in Arcana.
Gildan has all the wrong skills. And most of them are things he has negative modifiers in.
I do, but does it call for it? Like I'm just wondering if I've seen a.
You know that magical constructs are plentiful. Many of them are left over from the terrible wars which tore the planet asunder, but some of them aren't, right? They're new creations. Those accompanied by themselves and that seem to be ancient or old. There's any number of things. They're usually pretty dangerous, with no one controlling them, no one directing them, and they're just sort of like running on autopilot. As for this specific one, this looks like some sort of construct designed to collect corpses.
Mm-hmm.
You have a moment before it's headed sort of in your general direction. Are you going? Gildan's attempting to hide. How about Baloo?
I'm gonna hide.
Okay,
Yeah.
Give me 2 stealth checks from y'all, and then we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Myrrh and the rest are on their way towards you.
24.
24 for Baloo.
A ghost.
Yeah, Baloo ghosts.
I did roll dice. I got a 10.
Okay. Gildan is attempting to hide.
Gildan usually gets much higher. He did not today.
So this thing, as it sort of like shrieks as its rusted joints move across the savannah, and as you kind of sort of come into its awareness, it begins to orient itself towards you and is picking up speed as it moves in your general direction. Gildan,
Okay.
you'll have a chance to act before it gets there. Baloo, you as well. I suppose now is a good time to say that we're doing things a bit differently with initiative here, because I don't like the whole let's stop and roll and pause the action.
Yeah. So here's the question. So how many rounds before it gets to me? I know we're out of initiative, or we're not using it, but roughly what I have, 1 round or 2 rounds?
You have at least 1 round.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay.
It's moving quickly.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast a grasping vine spell at 4th level conjuration, and so a massive. I imagine it looks like a cactuar from Final Fantasy. It's just in the wasteland. He just whoa, and he grows big, and he reaches like his little bird. Spiny arm and tries to pull this construct towards it. So it must succeed on a dexterity, and it would be like 30 feet diagonally away from me. And then it's going to try to snatch this thing and pull it 20 feet towards the vine. Meanwhile, Gildan, as his bonus action, is going to be... Well, my head's still illuminated. It'll always see me. Is going to like dash back about 60 feet, just kind of and get out of there.
All right.
He's a goblin who can do that.
Is the DC 16 or greater? Because I rolled a 15.
Yeah, you should. You succeeded.
Okay.
So much for that magic trick.
It tries and snaps through, just like ripping off the dry, husky plant matter that you use to form your vine, and picks up speed. It is not quite on top of you. You slowed it down a little bit, but Baloo, you will have a chance to act before it's right up on top.
Okay, so I was actually going to wait and see if it was even aggressive. Like maybe it was just collecting corpses, but
It does not appear to be. It appears to be aggressive, or at least it's moving towards Gildan pretty aggressively.
all right. Well, I don't think spike growth is going to help. I'm going to get its attention and see if maybe between the two of us we can't keep it occupied. I'm going to cast Call Lightning.
Okay.
And I'm going to assume a Nature's Fury.
Oh.
I'm going to get mad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to demand the sky open up. And I'm going to throw a lightning bolt down at the sky and use my rage-fueled magic.
All right. What's DC on it?
DC is, clicked away, 15.
All right. This time, as Blue, as you call the lightning down on top of it, you can see ancient runes engraved along its metallic surface light up as it partially deflects a lightning bolt away. It passes its save, and you're, after having seen it, the target of 2 magic spells now, you think it might be warded somewhat against magic.
Okay.
Blue, that's specifically what Blue knows. So go ahead and give me the half damage on that.
Let's see. I'm trying. It's been a while since I've used it. The rage-fueled magic gives me Add bonus dice up to the spell's level. And you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah.
Taking damage equal to the bonus dice. Okay. Let me go ahead and roll that. He's going to do a full thing. That was
okay. He's like unleashing his full power on this.
Yeah, and even he didn't know until it hit that it was protected as much as it was. So he's just going to go for it.
Mur and Icky, you guys can see that Baloo's falling down lightning from the sky. Flashing light.
Yes. Okay, here we go. We got math to do. Here we go.
Yep, that's right.
Let's see. 32.
32. Is that half or full?
Oh, that's full.
Okay, so we'll take the 16 then.
And then I failed my con save, so let's take some damage. It's just like a little bit of lightning hits me too.
Right, it sort of like shocks through Baloo as well. All right, so everybody can see that Baloo has lit up the sky, called down a lightning bolt. Mur, you're able to kind of like hone in on where they are exactly, if you like. It's going to get to go before either Icky or Mur are in a position to engage with it, though. So the Dapper Collector runs up. It's sort of like creaky, rusted joints coming up upon, I guess, Baloo.
Gosh, guys.
Baloo, you stood your ground, right?
Yep, and I took 14 lightning damage.
No. You can see it's sort of whatever spirit animates this construct, driven to madness by centuries of imprisonment in its metal confines, lashes out at Baloo and attempts to add him to the collection. First attack is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah, I've got a 13 AC.
Okay, second attack, I got an 11, and it misses then. So in that case, it's going to be 18 plus. It is going to be Blue gets hit for 20.
Thanks to D&D Beyond, I can look and see if I have any reactions.
All right.
Okay.
Blue is slammed for
Nice.
25. That's bludgeoning.
Nice. Just having a good time, guys.
All right.
Get ready for these shenanigans.
How's that?
Oh,
I said get ready for these shenanigans. Yeah, I got some plans.
Nice.
So both everybody sort of sees this as this thing starts attacking Baloo. Mur and Icky, you're about 60 feet away right now. If you have any attacks that can hit, you can go ahead and go if you like.
We're how far away? Sorry, I cut up.
60 feet away.
60
And
feet?
are now
I
within
can make attacks for 300. I'll just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll shoot from above. I got sharpshooter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Murray's sharpshooter.
In fact, I think I'll use that. I think I'll use sharpshooter to
Heck yeah.
just knock an arrow on my sitar and pull back on that string. So subtract 5 from the hit, but I can do more damage. Okay, that's.
Put an arrow in its butt.
What do I have?
Its butt.
Oh, so I just add 1. That's gonna be 17.
17 hits.
So
Pew pew.
All right.
That's going to be 16 points of piercing damage.
You see Murr's arrow snap as it hits this thing's metallic hull and seemingly does not harm it at all.
Oh.
That's what you guys see. How about
Did Icky... Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not muted. Did Icky see this thing shrug off a lightning bolt and an arrow?
you shrug off the worst of a lightning bolt and an arrow? Yes.
Icky's not feeling too super confident about this.
Don't get hit by it, guys.
She's kind of
I'm on a
like,
skiff. I don't think it can catch us.
what if we just go? We should go. We should go. Not all fights are meant to be won. Get on the skiff. She's just yelling.
Okay.
Just yelling at Gildan and Baloo. Get on the skiff. Get in the car.
She doesn't raise her voice very often, so you definitely notice.
Iggy's like, no, why are we here? This doesn't seem like something worth.
You can
Five
hear
feet.
people around you. They're just like in the grass and the trees, just everywhere.
There's no gain. Please.
You guys come upon actually play Gildan first. If you're making a plea for them to just get in the skiff.
Yeah, that's her whole thing. I'm not gonna say it's like persuasion or anything, but like we don't have to fight this. Like I'm not gonna shoot it if I don't have to
do this.
What if we just leave? How
right.
fast is it moving? Can Icky tell how fast it's moving?
You could easily outpace it. You saw it sort of rush up on Baloo. If that's its charge, it's not that fast.
If I can't
Get in the
outrun it
van.
with a skiff, I'd be scared of it.
Yes, get in the van.
Yeah. So does Gildan get in the van?
Well, Gildan has a couple things he needs to do first.
Gildan.
Gildan's 60
Getting
feet.
into the van. How close am I to the van? To the skiff?
You're right off on the skiff. They came right up to the side.
Oh,
of
they
you.
came right up next to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there's a couple things I got to do first.
Shoot it from the skiff.
Well, I'm trying to slow it down. Essentially, I'm going to create tofu Gildan or jerky Gildan and use create food or water next to the thing and make a meat Gildan next to it. 45 pounds.
Yeah.
Create food and water.
Yeah, you can make
Gildan.
up to 45 pounds of food, and it's
Doesn't that take
I
a
just
minute
make.
to cast though?
Yeah. How long does it take?
No, it takes an action, right? Does it take a minute?
I have no idea.
I don't
Casting
know.
time, one
Real quick.
action. Casting
Oh,
time,
one
one
action.
action.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thought it was a minute. For some reason.
Instantaneous. So just whoop, there. So there's a little Gildan there. In fact, he's a little portly Gildan. It's a little heavier than Gildan actually. He's just
Gildan.
yeah, his portly Gildan's like there, and I'm hoping it'll snatch that. And I'll have to use his action snatching that. Then, as a bonus action, it needs to save against my vine again, which is going to try to grab it and pull it back.
Okay.
Then,
Oh my god.
the last thing we can do as we start to get out of here and we get Baloo in here is I can cast plant growth next round and just cause all the grass to get like crazy mad.
Okay. Yeah, I avoided your vine again. I got 16 on my save.
Okay.
But it's confused a bit. with the-
I know. Isn't that great? I'm going to get onto the skiff, but it's like, that's my movement and stuff like that. So it's like, hold on. I had to make meat Gildan. I want to see who it goes for. Who truly is the most scrumptious? Wait, my little
Technically,
guys!
you're also meat Gildan. We're all meat. All of us are made of meat.
That's where I got the
Delicious.
idea. You described Gildan as meat, and I was like, meat Gildan?
Oh.
I can make meat!
So Blue, you're quicker than it, and can go again before it goes ready to attack.
Blue's gonna turn to the smallest thing, the smallest, fastest thing he can think of, which, by the way, is a snake mouse. We all know what a snake mouse is.
All right.
He's gonna turn into one and just start rushing off towards the skiff.
Okay. So you're really small. All right. Okay. All right. You
Don't know if that would give me any kind of bonus. I mean, technically moving out.
I want to know the rules that I'm using. I figure you're small enough that the grass and brush will provide cover for you, so that it cannot see you to take its reaction attack, which is as good a reason as
I like that, Jim.
somebody. Okay.
I'm going to assume that I knew that when I did that.
Okay. And so Blue just seemingly disappears, and this thing focuses its attention on the meat puppet to kind of tries to take it apart, but then it begins to fall apart itself. It's but Baloo is out of
I was
it.
hoping it would be like Scott Pilgrim, and
Right.
like it eats the tofu and then dies. Yeah.
Are you headed for the skiff? Where are you going, Baloo?
Yes, I am. I'm getting as close to the skiff as I can. If I can hop on it, I will. If not, I'll turn back
It's
into
60 feet
me.
away. How fast can you move? I don't think you can move 60 feet.
No, probably not.
Okay. All right. All right. So as far as anybody else knows, Baloo has disappeared, and this thing is 60 feet away from everybody on the skiff. Those of you on the skiff, what are you doing?
They're idiots and they're not on the skiff yet. I pulled up right next to them, so
Yeah.
I'll slowly start to battle away.
I'm crying out. We can't leave my babies behind.
You're like
Moon
a
Moon!
fed up parent in a Walmart parking lot that's just like, yeah, go put the cart up, and then you're like already pulling out of the space. The kid has to like run alongside the cart again.
Moon Moon is on his way. You can see him. The others, you're not sure
Moon
where
Moon
they
can
are.
catch up. Moon Moon can get on the skiff.
Yeah.
But what about the others? Spot and Sparky.
Oh my gosh,
They have
skeletons.
messages. We wrote letters.
They're headed in the direction you sent them, just away from this abomination.
But it will follow you into the camps, and they'll think we're hostile.
Get out of the van.
All right.
Kicked
Oh,
out.
shut up.
No. I thought you were gonna say, okay, I'm getting out of the van. I'm like, stop!
Reverse psychology.
Maybe if you hadn't aggravated the nice body collector machine.
Yeah. We gotta get away from the booty collector.
I never did anything. I just existed.
I waited to see.
I
if the
don't believe that at all.
You don't have to. It's still the truth is still the truth, regardless of you believing it.
We're so used to Gildan pulling aggro on literally everything that it like doesn't even occur to us that he was minding his own business.
Just the
Yeah.
constant taunt action. Just
Right. All right. So, Baloo, you're still a tiny little snake mouse running through the undergrowth, attempting to get to the thing. Moon Moon is shortly behind you, rushing past, seemingly ignored by the construct. And the rest of y'all are sort of like making your way a certain direction, but not like full speed yet, I guess, until everybody gets on board.
It's like how you know how the Home Depot thing goes beep beep. Like that's what Mur's doing with the skiff.
Okay. All right. Then in that case, Baloo, if all you do is move, you can get to the skiff pretty quickly.
Okay.
Get back to it.
Okay.
All around you, necrophages are sort of coming and being drawn to the lights and sounds of wherever it is that you are, that you find yourselves. With everyone on board, though, what direction do you guys head?
What is around us?
So right now, you can see that to your south, it looks like a strand of trees. But beyond that, it's somewhat obscure. Straight ahead of you, heading east, is a bunch of open grassland. Looks like immediately ahead of you, it's like real thick shrubs, and then it maybe thins out a bit. Beyond that, you can't really see. And then behind you is the strand of trees that you fought the necrophages in immediately. And then to the north seems to be more grassland.
Okay. Which did Gildan specify a direction that he had sent messages into?
I think you sent him to the two fires, yeah.
2 camps. Yeah.
Okay.
That's roughly to the northwest northeast and southeast.
All right. Mur's gonna head towards that like little copse of trees. Just to lose the stuff that's on their trail, because if we break eyesight, they probably won't pursue past ones, because she'll like go like, you know, kind of like pacing, keeping them in there, and then speed around it and head towards that one of the campfires.
Okay. Are you headed towards the north or south campfire?
Whichever one's nearest.
All right. Looks like
The south one. Yeah.
South one. So sorry, looping through the trees to the south and then headed towards the campfires.
Just to lose them so they don't follow. Skip's pretty quiet. They'll probably lose it pretty quickly, but she's just making sure. She didn't like that body collector.
Right. So you quickly lose the necrophages and constructs that accompany them, and after a couple of minutes of swift travel overground, come out of that strand of trees that you were using as cover, and are now in a stretch of heavily. There's like a lot of heavy shrubs, like little sagebrush, and you can't really see the ground. It's just this like carpet of dry grass and brush and the like. And you get a better look now. There's nothing obstructing your view, no trees or anything in the way, and it's more like a line of fires about maybe 800 feet or so in front of you, looking through the spyglass.
Yeah.
Just at the very edge of what you can sort of make use of
Like
it.
a line of little campfires, or like a line of fire, like when Baloo casts Wall of Fire?
More like when Baloo casts Wall of Fire. There's
Oh,
like a wall that's the grassland appears to be on fire as you're headed towards it in this direction.
Sure. Let's check it out. They're both probably walls of fire. We have fodder. If we need extra speed, I'll kick him off the skiff. It's fine. Let's go.
All right.
Do we pick up that other group?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, you noticed that there's more people on the skiff than when you left us.
Yeah. There's 4 extras. It's pretty crowded.
Frankie the Werebear,
People with guns.
Geralt and Slorp. Yeah, people with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got backup.
I'm gonna
Follow me now.
I'm gonna come out of a wild chip and cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds, Jim.
On Clovis the Minotaur or Slorp the Orc Archer?
No, myself. I have 8 HP.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah. So,
All right.
me.
On the one who matters, Jim.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, you were just asking about the past.
On
don't heal the
one of the main
healer.
characters.
Right. What there's character art for? All right.
You gotta heal the healers.
All right. So you guys are speeding over the grassland. You can tell that you're headed towards what looks to be more than a campfire. But otherwise you think that you've outpaced all of the Eaters of the Dead.
I can also heal somebody else too, by the way.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not an asshole. If somebody's bleeding out, I will cast Cure Wounds 1st level on them.
All right. Thank you.
First
Are they
level.
both hurt?
4 hit points.
Okay.
2 of them are very hurt. Yeah.
Which 2 are the
Okay,
ones that are very hurt?
Slorp and Clovis.
Yeah. It's not Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them gets back 14, 12, the other one gets back 6.
Okay. All right. They're appreciative. And keeping an eye out and looking. They seem to think that Rix should be around here somewhere, but like I said, they got lost and separated in the initial.
If I wasn't worried about attracting the undead, I would just thaumaturgy.
Call out.
Yeah. But I don't
Well,
do
why
that.
don't
I
I
will
just
just
call
go
out?
towards the fire.
All right.
The undead can already see my glowing flame head.
This is true.
That's
Oh,
still
yeah.
on.
I never turned it off, and I'm just looking right at Clovis and stuff, being like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Oh my god.
It's all right.
I want to put the sack over his head.
Yeah, it's pretty bright.
You can't. It is on fire.
It doesn't burn. It just creates light.
Yeah, I guess they're warned. Like, why is your head on fire?
There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going, and it's like alternating.
Yeah, you're headed at the moment. You're headed towards these fires. They're getting pretty close. How close do you get?
Do I see people?
In the distance behind us, my tiny servants haven't even caught up yet. They're just
Right.
like,
Give me another perception check for Mer.
Oh, that's 4.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell.
Okay.
Lots of smoke, lots of weird shadows being thrown up.
Okay. I'll just cruise around onto the other side of the wall of fire. I don't see anyone and hear from anyone. I'm going to assume they're dead.
Yeah, I'd say you get close to it, and you can tell that it's like a line of fire that's just burning its way through the grassland, but it's not quite continuous. It looks like it's been maybe started in different spots. And things.
How close do we get to it, Jim?
That's entirely up to y'all how close you get to it.
Because if it's non-magical, I can make a path for us with the control flame.
Okay, it is non-magical.
Okay. So if we do a couple passes, I can open up it big enough.
Okay.
If we want to go directly through it.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
what if it's a walk of faith where we're supposed to walk directly through the flames?
No. You can get off the skiff and do that if that is what you would like. My skiff is not getting on fire.
All right. Baloo creates a opening through the wall of fire, and you drive through it. What are you guys still headed in the same general direction, or are you gonna try to?
I'll get past through and look to either side, see if there's anyone alive, see if there's any corpses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look for your friends, your comrades.
You get to the wall of fire, and you can see to the north, and then stretching all the way back to the west, there's these little bitty fires that form a string just behind you. Past that, it's difficult to tell because of the smoke and everything. You don't see any corpses around here, or really sense much else other than you're in the middle of dry grassland at night. There's a bit more light out here now that you're outside the ring of fire. And can see a bit more, and that's about what you spot as you first come out of the ring of fire.
If you want to live, come with me.
The healthier members of Rix's or the group that's Rix's crew are sort of looking about nervously to see if they can't find their other companions. How about y'all? What are y'all up to?
Is the sky still blotted out? Can I see where if the smoke is coming from these fires or somewhere else?
It appears to be, yes. Like I said, as you're outside of it, you can see stretching all the way back to the west. There are strings and little fires all through the grassland, creating these great big columns of smoke. It appears as though you've found an edge of one and have gone outside of that, because if you look further south, you don't see any smoke. And if you
think this is a trail that they left?
Somebody did this intentionally. If not intentionally, something very big and fiery came through here. Yeah.
Do I get the sense from being a ranger and being in the wastes that this is similar to like a buoy or something? Like if you go beyond this perimeter, there are spooky or scary things out here or something like that? Or does this seem like something else?
You get the impression, so you know that that there are some wastelanders that will use fire like as a weapon, as a way to corral or to force people to travel into a certain way, to panic them. This has the sort of bodies that you found and everything else has all the hallmarks of some kind of ambush of some kind. And if you're on the outside of it, you probably escaped it. So you don't, that's kind of where Icky's instincts are linear. Not like that there's anything dangerous outside of this, but that the fire was part of the trap.
Okay. So it's more like a net than it is like a gate. And so Icky will turn to the others and say, "Did you see this? Did you and Rix see this?"
Not the fires. They weren't here whenever we came through. We just we found some of the bodies of I don't know who they were, bodies, and they that's when the Eaters of the Dead came out. They were just washed over us like a wave. Yeah, that's about all I remember.
Okay, Mara will be like, just take a little sip of from her water pouch, and use thaumaturgy. Hello, is anyone out there? If so, please reveal yourselves. Thank you.
Like an intercom.
Yeah.
Gilda was gonna do it and harmonize with her.
Cast silence.
He's like a second behind her because he doesn't know what she's exactly gonna say, so it's like weird
We're
feedback.
singing in rounds.
When you're trying to mimic somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So all right. So Murdus' Gildan follows behind. Anyone else?
Thaumaturgy loud, and then I'll wait for a second. I'll listen real close. look around, see if anyone's foiling, like if their lungs have been gutted. I don't know. If not, move to the north. Look, check out those fires.
Okay.
Look for any tracks or anything. Yeah, I don't know.
You have to get out.
Oh, I'm not getting
around for tracks.
Gildan would like to. Why are we
can. I'm not moving. I'm hovering right now. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what Gildan's gonna do. Yeah, he's still illuminated. I guess that would help him in his search. Also prevent him from like walking into stuff like Knight's Bane and other things that would kill him. So he's going to get down out of the skiff and he's going to kind of hound dog it around again, look for tracks, trying to make sense out of this. Where did they head? What was their mood when they headed there?
So I need a survival roll from Gildan. Everybody else, Gildan's out. He's on the ground looking. It's quiet.
Okay.
Other than the distant crackle of the fire, you don't hear anything else.
Is Ellie okay?
Ellie seems to have had a bad reaction to the paralysis. Seems to be fine, but will take some time to. She's feeling really groggy.
Okay.
He burned his final channel divinity to use Blessing of the Wise to increase his survival and double its proficiency. I rolled a 16, so that would be a dirty 20.
Okay. Around here, you find more knoll tracks heading in all sorts of different directions. There appear to be most of them, the bulk of them, mill about and then head back sort of north and east at what you would guess maybe intersects with that larger group that you were tracking earlier. But there are hoofed tracks that appear to head west, the direction that that you were in, and they appear to be some sort of four-legged hoofed creature that is bearing a lot of weight.
Gildan's head imagines centaurs being ridden by minotaurs, because obviously that's what would be out here this far. Ha
Surely.
Yes.
Icky's gonna go ahead and get out of the skiff and also take whichever the healthiest one of Rix's crew with her. Are these split hooves or are they?
They are single.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a terrible. The centaur isn't a terrible guess.
Yeah.
And Icky will also ask more questions like, do you know which bandits are in this area? Do you know whose are these? And like point to the knolls and like point to the other hooves. Whose are these? Try to get a sense of like which bandit groups they're dealing with.
Yeah. So you see, you're accompanied by Geralt, the big gif that is kind of walking around, and I know there's well, I mean, like those look like knoll prints. Lots of knolls around here. Hoofed. Not sure about a hoof. And he's sort of like examining the prints that Gildan's found that you've pointed out to him. He starts rattling off all the things you can think of that are out here, little wasteland bandits. But he doesn't think any of them are big enough to put on something like this. And he's not as sure about what sort of knolls that are out here, but he knows that they're all bad news and that they all tend to... these are the knolls that did not walk away from their demonic heritage the way that, say, orcs or drow did. They are knolls that embraced new demons as their old ones abandoned them. And so that's all he really knows, and it's about, I guess, about as much as y'all know about feral knolls.
Yeah. Celeste, are there groups who would work together?
Certainly, yeah. Most of them out here just seem to fight with each other, but I know that if they have someone they need to ambush or a target in mind, they're capable of quite cunning traps. And he starts to look around nervously, even as he says that.
What a baby. Icky looks visibly annoyed with him. Back to the skiff. And she like sends him back over there. Just like, ugh.
Yeah, Gilden returns to the skiff and he goes right up to Myrrh and he goes, "The hooves belong to a mammoth, the woolly kind." And then just like, oh, that's misinformation. I don't know. For some reason I thought woolly mammoth would be funny to be out here. Sorry, guys.
Okay, we are heading north. Let's go.
Sounds like Gilden's been eating some of the desert plants or something.
So that cactus
Right.
from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So everybody gets back in the skiff, and now you're headed north. You see now as you're traveling that there is a gap in the Ring of Fire, at least as you understand it. As you get to the point where you're traveling north for maybe another couple of 100 feet, there's this large gap that exists between the two rings, making more like a sea of fire as opposed to a full circle, with the gap headed eastwards or pointing towards the east. You're traveling through that gap on the way towards the northern fires right now.
Sure.
So, Jim, if I'm visualizing this correctly, like we came through one sea as it was kind of heading towards us.
Yeah, you sort of like came out here, you investigated it, now you're headed back towards this one right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, some one thing or one group of people have created like this, and it has just spread out in a radius from where they created it. And if so, could we go to the center of that, where we think maybe the sea popped up?
Back into the ring?
I'm not saying we want to do it. I'm just saying we could.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we don't. Never mind.
Okay.
I can do a pass by.
You didn't have to go so hard on that inflection of back into the ring, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. Yeah, I think I took
You didn't have to, but I'm glad you chose that.
So not yet, though. Then you'll save that.
No, we'll just save it for later. Curiosity killed the bugbear. Let's just keep going.
It's like,
Right.
okay, let me just put these creature NPC packets back under my book, I guess.
So
He just picks up a bucket of dice, just like, did you want to go back?
please.
We just grabbed the nearest handful.
You're headed towards the northern end of the ring, then looking for something. And what's your aim here? You found several tracks. There's a lot of clues suggesting something's headed east. What else are y'all?
Well, there was that other fire. There was a fire to the northeast and a fire to the southeast. I want to see if I can check out the northeast fire if it's not too terrible.
I agree.
To see if those tracks also lead east. If so, we're just gonna beeline it straight east.
Okay.
Just basically confirming that the two groups are going to the same place and they've been done the same thing. Yeah.
All right. So you get up there to the fires that were towards the northeast, and they're more like in another strand of trees that they've begun to engulf. It's much a similar situation that you find up there. Now that you sort of know what you're looking for, you can see that there are numerous knoll prints that seem to track a certain direction. Some sets of hoofed prints that go off towards the west, and it's a very similar setup that you have there.
Don't think we are interested in the hoof prints. We should head east, where the majority of the tracks lead. Didn't we come from the west?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've already been that way. We know our general goals to the east. This would just be an added bonus. So
the hoof prints were going west.
In both places.
They doubled back. Yep.
Weird. Okay. Yeah. Let's just keep heading east. I'm curious about the tracks, but not enough to
yes.
do tours. Yeah.
We haven't found any bodies yet, which is interesting.
All right. Gilden, within his mind's eye, he wants to know what Ling would do in this situation. What would please you?
Probably sacrifice a lot of mindless soldiers.
Right.
Just be like, check out both directions. It doesn't
Kill
matter.
Clovis.
Die. You're made of spam.
Right, I'll just remake you and repossess you.
You've never had Gildurkey? It's
Mhm.
delicious.
I have. Blue has.
Yeah, you have.
No.
Yeah.
Lang appears in your mind's eye, and you can sort of see him surveying the scene that you're at. And you ask him, do you, or you just sort of
Yeah. I'm asking him outright. We need a little apostasy out here.
an enemy hunts you, I think. You've escaped its trap. Perhaps it's time to turn the tables then. And he's sort of like, you can see him thinking as he looks about the landscape.
This is like the crazy Tim Robbins character in War of the Worlds. We'll be the ones digging up from underneath. It's like, all right, quick, hide amongst the dead.
He looks back at the companions that you picked up from Rick's, and is at least the wounded ones would make sufficient bait, perhaps. Although these are not your hunter's quarry, I think.
What about one of these? And I make another Gildan Jerky statue and like kind of break off.
Watching him make Gildan jerky and just like
This is all we eat from now on, guys. Eat up.
Yeah.
I have my own food. Thank you.
Manna from heaven.
Looks at it with contempt. Facsimile.
I can never get the nose right.
Are y'all traveling at this moment? Are y'all stationary? Give me an idea, because I know you said that y'all were thinking of traveling, continuing on east, but moving right now.
But unless anyone has any objections, Mur's gonna start heading east, following the tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, we might as well. I mean, we're here to find. I forget her name every time.
False Ellie.
Yeah, but
Ellie.
we know her name, right?
Corsica.
Corsica.
Murder Ellie.
Corsica, yeah. Murder Ellie.
All right. Mur begins heading east as the sort of the scene recedes in view, laying comments upon Gildan's meat puppet. And
I should animate it as a tiny serpent.
right.
Say
Oh God.
these water-filled jerky statues, man.
All right. So there is a the landscape begins to speed past you, and give me an idea of what you're doing on this particular portion of the trip, because you're leaving the scene of the ring of fire behind and the necrophages that are inside of it. But what about as you're on the skiff leaving that? What do you do?
We can do a short rest, right?
You can attempt if you'd like. You're attempting to do a short rest.
Yeah, because I could use my wild shape back and some hit points back.
All right. So Blue begins to rest.
Yeah, take a little nap.
I'm
lie down.
driving.
Driving.
There's not much I could do
My
with them.
eyes out, and I'm having a spell ready. I will have a vicious mockery ready,
Okay. And then
ready to mock things to death.
for Icky, ready to mock.
Icky's gonna try and get a little bit more information about where Rix was, etc. Who ambushed them? Were they only ambushed by necrophages, or if they saw anybody else driving them, etc., etc. Because the sun was only just getting blocked out when we showed up, and they went well ahead of us.
Right.
So they should have had some light.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so that's what Icky's gonna be doing, and then for Gildan.
Well, I can either poke at Baloo while he's resting to prevent him getting the benefits, or try to do something useful. Here's what. Yeah. So, Gildan's thinking he wants to ask Mur what she thinks about using one of these dead weights as bait. We're being hunted, I tell her. My
Yes.
brain friend tells me we're being hunted and that we could possibly use bait and we should use old broken
Potentially.
ankles over here.
I mean, we could follow these tracks as well. They will lead somewhere. We are much faster than they are on foot. Although I would use that one as bait. And she kind of, I think she gestures, Slorp's the orc, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'll gesture to Slorp or Gerald. I'm gonna use
Should-
one of those as bait.
Should we like start
Slorp's the worst off.
working them
Slurp's in.
into that bait mindset? Like start mentally
Not
breaking them?
even if we kick him off a skiff, he will feel very vulnerable and be very authentic. No?
Gilden's got to think about this. I'm gonna roll a die.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking about that. Icky's talking to some of them.
I'm not saying we kick him off now. I'm saying we kick him off if we can't, if these tracks lead to nowhere.
It's in fact Slorp who sort of is come to a little bit of healing from Baloo has perked him up a bit. And Icky, you're asking them where were they? When did this happen? Give them some more details. Slorp relays some information. It's that they were that the group, Rix's group, we were headed north just to bypass some of the trees, and then it was from out of the trees that these eaters of the dead came. As the last I saw, Rix was leading the rest of the crew northward. There were some ruins, maybe. I'm not sure. We got separated, and then we couldn't see them, and then all we could see was the hill. By then, it was gotten really dark very quickly. We never saw anyone else other than the necrophages, but we heard and he sort of like seems like he's really trying hard to remember. We heard the cackling of gnolls right before we found the hill. So yeah, it was all happened so fast. I'm not sure what else. And he like, much like Clovis, he seems to kind of trail off, and it seemed like they got hit pretty hard. And like I said, all four of them are really, really badly injured.
Okay.
Was it just the four of them?
In this particular group, they're not sure how many of Rix's crew survived total, or where exactly they are.
Okay.
We said northward. Okay. Icky will remember that.
Okay. It's only been a couple of minutes. Gildan is just sort of like, approached Baloo. You really just kind of sat down to start your rest when I need everybody. First off, what's everybody's passive perception? Remind me of that.
I think it's 11.
All right.
17 for me.
12, 17 for Baloo.
I have to remind myself of that.
Technically, right now it's 14.
Oh, right.
Yeah, 11.
11, 14.
I think I have decent.
How long does that buff last?
How long has it been? Wait, has Baloo had his rest? If he has, it's gone.
It's not. It's just been a couple minutes since.
Oh,
Yeah, we
then
just
it's still up.
Okay.
Passive perception is
I would say
15.
that's like, it's either 10 minutes or an hour, one or the other. I need to look up.
Okay. So as really everybody but Myrrh notices
Driving.
that something is moving quickly through like the underbrush and the trees on either side of you. You can hear multiple figures just outside of your vision running alongside or rushing alongside you. You can hear the sound of snapping undergrowth, the crunch of dry grass under their feet. That's what everybody is aware of mere minutes after leaving the Ring of Fire area.
All right, just 1 second. Is this grassland?
Yes, this is grassland.
Okay, let me see just something real quick about what I do know about grassland. No, it's cool. I'll wait on you, computer. That's fine. I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
No, it's not you, I promise. Dang, it says while tracking creatures. JK.
We are tracking Noble Prince.
I mean, technically, it's true.
I don't know. It
Oh, it's
says
traveling pretty fast.
yeah, yeah,
You
because
are-
it says while tracking creatures, you learn exact number, and I'm like, I don't think that would count for like an ambush situation because I'm not exactly on the alert right now.
Right. I mean, at the places where you were, and you actually saw prints, you would have known that at both locations on the sort of the ends of the sea of the ring, that you were dealing with at least a dozen figures.
Oh, cool, neat. Let's assume that I would have said so to other people.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
That's what he knows, and then you guys can all hear something running just out of the side of your vision,
Great.
on either side of you. Icky's not doing anything. Baloo,
Except for me. I'm just driving.
just driving.
I mean, you know, I hear it. Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're moving pretty fast.
Yep.
So let me see if I can't like get eyes on it.
All right. So give me a perception test. Because it is beyond the limits of your dark vision, it's at disadvantage. How about a gilded?
I got a 19, Jim.
Nice.
Nice.
Gildan as far as his action, or Gildan rolling to look around?
Just as far as your action.
Well, earlier I rolled to see if he would try to set up a slurp trap. I would not. I rolled a nat 20, and Gildan's is erring to the side of see what happens. As far as an action, like a narrative action, a mechanical action, it's the dodge action. He's preparing himself for the worst.
All right.
Essentially, he's ready for the other shoe to drop. In fact, at this point, he's so paranoid, he thinks they're just like clinging to the bottom of the skiff, and then they're just going to all pop out and jump on us.
Okay. All right.
They'll never find us.
It sounds like we've got everybody kind of waiting for something to happen then.
Yeah.
Does anyone tell the driver that there's stuff on either side?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Baloo would if he like confirms. Does his 19 see anything?
Oh yes, sorry, the 19. Yeah, the 19. You see something. You see a vaguely equine creature of some kind carrying what might be two riders on it, traveling at a very quick pace through the grasslands. It's got a shortish neck. In fact, its neck appears very stumpy with like a very big fat head, but its body is equine in shape, quite large.
Weird.
And
Are you seeing equine creatures?
You've seen sort of things kind of like it, not like a proper horse. But this thing also has like a long tail that seems to like whip behind it as it runs by. And it's around then that Kroithwick stands up, grabs his axe, and turns around to the rest of you and says, there's fiends nearby. I can feel it.
Fiends, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And the first of them begin to come into view. So, Baloo, you're sort of looking at it, and it, whatever creature this is, begins to move in closer towards you as you're sort of moving in. And you can tell that there are two gnolls on the back, one of which has a bow and a clutch of arrows in and then another rider, slightly smaller, that has no visible weapons. There's two on either side of you. And you guys can also now start seeing movement and the like directly behind you as well. It looks like they're closing in on multiple sides. If you have any attacks that will reach a range of 120 feet, that's the range they are in.
Can I shoot my bow?
And you can and go as
drive.
fast as you're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. All right. So the one that doesn't have any weapons, I'm gonna fire a guiding bolt at him.
Okay. We've got Gildan firing a guiding bolt, so you can attempt to make
Nat
attacks.
20.
Nat 20 for the guiding
At
bolt.
4th level, it's 14d6. Oh, yes.
All right, go ahead and roll
Alright.
that. It will get everybody else's actions and the like. So
I need more
remember, you
dice.
can, if you use both your hands, use both your hands to shoot.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
You can cast a spell and still drive,
Yeah, that's what I figured.
but using something that requires both hands.
Yeah, she'll just hold her action to when something comes within her range, then she will viciously mock it.
Okay, we got that. And then how about Icky?
Icky can't see shit because she doesn't have dark vision, which is fine. She's not mad about it.
You should be able to see stuff from Gildan's glowing head.
Yeah, and she does have a hooded lantern, so she's just gonna open that up. Is that a full action?
No. And in fact, y'all are out of the sufficiently out of the ring of fire now that its smoke doesn't obscure the light. So
Oh, neat.
you're back to dim light.
Neato
Nice.
Cheeto. Yeah.
Plus the
So
glowing from continual flame.
with Black Market Breeder, does she recognize what these equine horses thingies are?
You don't know what the hell these things are.
What the hell?
You don't look like anything you've ever seen out here in the woods.
What the hecky?
They appear to be about the size of like an elk of some kind, and of its general shape and size. But instead of a nice, elegant neck and sort of head, it's this lumpy, misshapen, part hyena, part humanoid with this jagged mouthed maw and a mane of dark, stringy hair that kind of comes down to the shoulders. The tail is clearly prehensile as it seems to whip around. And it's sort of like running on these long, elegant legs towards you.
What kind of hell beast have you unleashed upon us now? It's like, fine, you're not going to go back into the Ring of Fire. I'll bring the Ring of Fire to you.
Oh, well,
That's
you
fine.
are being
No,
hunted.
just
It is
kidding.
appropriate.
She'll go ahead and she will cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action.
Okay.
And and I guess she'll shoot one of the. Are they gnolls on the back? Can she see that they're gnolls? Okay, she'll shoot a gnoll that has a bow in its hand.
Okay. All right.
65 points of radiant damage.
65 points of radiant damage. One of the knolls on the back of one of these things is
You just hit the horse at that speed. God bless. You didn't murder all of us.
Evaporates.
blasted off its back. Geez, 64.
Woo.
All right.
That's what happens when you crit a guiding bolt. As I did that with Emma's character on Starward Bound. I was like, I gotta roll all the dice.
And how about for blue?
I'm gonna go ahead and call it doesn't stay situated in an area, does it? Sorry, I'm just looking real quick.
I don't know that there's like a fixed location to it. I think it's something you cast on yourself and then are able to do as I understand the spell. You want to know if you can cast Call Lightning while you're traveling at upwards of 50 feet around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then maintain the spell.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna try to hit the horse. I'm gonna try to hit the gross horse with Call Lightning. So give me a DC 15.
DC 15. So the question I have for everybody then, there are 4 of them, two to your north, 2 to your south, that are closing in on you. So which one did Gildan fire at?
You described one that looked like they had no weapons. I assumed they were spellcasters, so I tried to snipe them.
Okay. There are 4 of them that look like that. I'm sorry for the confusion. There are 4 of them that four equine creatures, 4 of them being ridden by those with bows, and then mounts behind them that appear unarmored, or gnolls behind them appear unarmored. 2 to the north, 2 mounts, 2 riders each to the north, 2 mounts, 2 riders each to the south. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna Call Lightning on to the equine horse thing to the south.
Okay, sounds good. Ooh, not good. All right, I failed my save.
Okay. Only 13 damage, but there it is.
All right. 13. And it traveling that fast. So you see Blue's lightning strike this one, and all three of these particular creatures like go sprawling across the grassland and tumbling as one of them at least falls down and falls back. There are now 3 mounts, each of which, sorry, 2 of which have 2 riders, 1 of which has 1 rider, and they are about to be right up on top of you. So how we'll play this is sort of a cinematic type initiative where we'll sort of make sure everybody gets a chance to go, but not necessarily break for the action to roll for it. So as you guys are like firing off your spells and your attacks as they're closing in, they get close enough to begin to make some attacks themselves. So I need, first off, I need to know where everybody is in relative position on the skiff. So last I know, Mur is driving. Gildan, you were up there next to Mur. Is that still correct?
Unless I had to move to get to the most advantageous spot to try to snipe.
You wouldn't. And how about Iki and Baloo? Would you be sort of towards the back, towards the middle, near the side, in the middle of the skiff? Give me an idea of where you'd be at.
Since Blue is actively trying to spot them, I'm gonna say he's at the rail on the south side, so I guess the right.
Gotcha. Cool.
Port
is the left side.
Port is left.
Yeah.
Port is left. So so start.
Okay. And how about Iki?
Iki is in the back with the injured Rix's crew.
Okay.
So she will go as far to the back as possible, and be shooting at the ones that are behind the skiff.
Gotcha. All right. Cornflake's kind of in the middle. He's going to go where he needs to go. The first one of them, the 2 from the north that are coming in that have full riders each, they run up alongside the skiff, and you can tell that these creatures, they seem to be intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
The mounts, they are talking to each other. In some sort of foul, I don't think anybody here speaks Abyssal.
Not Abyssal, yeah. I'm an infernal tiefling.
But I think that perhaps Mur knows that it's Abyssal.
I would probably recognize it, like, oh, that's Abyssal. Great.
2 of the mounts,
demons.
2 on the mounts have jumped on the skiff.
Rude. They got that close. Good golly.
There are 3 gnolls on the skiff right now, one of which is on a rail, 2 of which have more solid footing, and it's at that the sort of the demon horse mounts peel off, and they're now keeping pace, but they're about 20 feet out instead of right up close, as you are boarded by 3 of these gnolls who are about to attack. All right, so Blue, here we go. That's going to be a miss unless an 11 hits Baloo. One on Baloo completely misses. There's one on near Iki that lashes out with its claws.
No.
That's a crit. Right,
okay.
I got just 1 crit on.
No, it's fine.
And you can see another one is fighting the GIF Geralt. So here we go for Iki.
Yeah, don't these motherfuckers have guns? I'm sorry, I'm not mad. I'm just pointed in Rix's crew.
12 slashing damage to Iki.
Real cool, Jim.
Too busy licking their wounds.
They'll go last. And then the other one that landed, like I said, is fighting one of Rix's crew. And let's go ahead and go from back of the skiff to front. And start with Iki, then we'll do Blue, Mur, and then Gildan.
Real cool, dude. Okay, so Iki had cast Hunter's Mark on one of the archers on the mount, and had hoped to shoot it. Did she get that off? Or
you hit, and it hurt it, but it did not enough to knock it off. I think so. Go ahead and roll me. I don't remember what damage you did, though.
I didn't actually roll an attack.
Oh, okay.
So I should do that.
No, let's clear that up before you finish.
Yeah. So she's going to shoot twice.
Okay.
First time was a 15.
That's it.
The second time was an 8, so.
That's a miss.
And so with the hunter's mark, we're gonna do 2d6s. So 3 plus 4, 7 damage. So yeah, hurt it, but not do anything crazy.
Okay. All right. So that was what you did in the previous round. Noel jumps up right after you shot the arrows, and is all up in Icky's face.
Okay. So is the one that was shooting still on the devil horse? I guess demon hippo. I don't know what it's called. Since one just clawed Icky, she's gonna turn around and try to shove him off the skiff with like all of her strength.
Okay.
Is that like a grapple? I'm sure that's like a strength contest, but do you consider that like a grapple or?
Let's just do like a shove. So we'll do opposed strength. If you have athletics, it'll apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I sure hope.
I got a 14.
I rolled an 18, but I want to feel good about myself, so I'm still going to look at what the modifier is. Okay, so 19. Sorry. I wanted to feel joy for 5 seconds of my life, okay?
All right. So you kick it off the back of the skiff?
Yeah, she just like Sparta kicks it off.
All right.
Just like claws her across the chest, and she's like, ah! And then boom!
He's got a hurt falling off a skiff.
Yeah, it takes
good.
It takes
I hope it whines. I hope it makes a little puppy whine when it.
You get like a yip as it lands.
And then silence.
So let's see, Baloo, you're up next.
I was trying to think what would be the smartest thing to do. That's not always what Baloo does, but there's that one time I didn't prepare Flame Blade. I am going to sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to. I have a feeling fire might not even work against these guys, because here they are starting fires. Maybe they've like prepped themselves or something. Again, maybe that's just paranoia. Jim, I'm gonna turn into a. I'm gonna use wild shape to turn into a giant flying insect.
Oh.
Okay. Could be a werebee.
Right. I'm gonna use the giant eagle stats, but I want to be like a big ass. I don't know, like a katydid or something.
Sure. It's like a huge locust.
That takes an action.
Uh-huh.
So I can't do another action, but I did increase in size. I'm gonna try to see if I can't move into one of them.
Yeah, booty bump.
Yeah, okay. Just literally just occupy its space.
Yeah, just move through it. Okay, give me a strength check, and you get advantage because of your size for this.
Roll to seduce Frankie.
Yeah.
There you go, please.
Frankie's like,
oh, look at the carapace on that guy.
I got a.
Could I even be any more turned on?
Oh.
You just hear his stinger just goes like.
Look at that slim looking thorax. And those sphericals.
I got a 16.
16.
Pollinate some flowers.
All right, yeah, I got an 11 for that. So you sort of bowl one of them over. So you were trying to knock off one of the gnolls from its mouth, or what?
Yeah, because I probably couldn't occupy the thing. So what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking is he jumps off, turns into this thing, and just runs into one of the mounts.
Okay, yeah. So it knocks off the other rider, the one that Gildan had vaporized its aft rider before. So there are currently no more riders to the south. It looks like the demon horse things peel off, and you quickly lose sight of them. It's currently just the two to the north that are riding alongside, and then the two gnolls that are still on the skiff. giant ass bug, Baloo, is sort of hovering nearby. What's your speed, Baloo?
80. So I should be able to keep
You'll
up.
be able to keep pace just fine with the skiff then. All right. So next up, Myrrh.
Yes, I would love to whisper some sweet nothings to one of the abyssal horses behind me at, let's say, 3rd level.
Okay.
Boop. So they need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
DC 16.
16. All right.
Go back to the abyss, you chaotic beasts. And then, I don't know.
Just need to suggest them.
No, it's isn't it whispers?
Oh.
So,
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's it failed that one.
It failed that one. Well, the good, it has to use its full movement to run as far as it can away from us.
That's right.
And it's gonna take this. Oh, I get to use 2 more d6s because I cast it. I don't know.
Gildan, you're up next.
Here's a question: is anyone driving right now?
Yes, I am driving right now. Can't
There's always that temptation. Gildan, take the wheel.
That's why I'm casting spells.
No, Gildan's going to use his final 3rd level spell slot to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay.
8.
So anyone within a 15-foot point, Gildan's just going to kind of ping-pong around the skiff with his movement, and anyone that ends up in it at any point will have to make a wisdom saving throw.
From where you are, you get the entire skiff.
24 points of psychic damage.
Before psychic? Okay.
And it has to use its go as far as away as it can from me.
All right. And that was one of the ones to the north?
Yeah, one of the ones that was like tailing us 20 feet away. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And then there's 2 gnolls.
It's gonna be like, ah! And run the other way.
Yeah, it's sort of like, ah, and then runs back.
And of course, I whispered an infernal in his mind because he would just love that.
Yeah, it screams like a man. It's like, ah, and then flies right away. There are 2 gnolls in your Spirit Guardians right now, Gildan, and they both failed their saves for Spirit Guardians.
Okay, so not the highest. 20 points of radiant damage. It was pretty good for 3d8, but
All right, here we go. That's 20. One of them collapses, falls off the skiff, and lands in the underbrush. Another one sort of like staggers back, and we'll see here. Looks like Kreuthoik and the other Rix's guardian or Rix's crew will take care of that one. No gnolls on the skiff. One of them is still riding one of the demon horses about 20 feet north from you. You can see others gaining on you behind those. The mass of them behind you appear to be running in some ways, but they also seem to be running very quickly, as if they are compelled or under some sort of enchantment of some kind. So, real quick, the one to the north takes aim with its bow at Myrrh and is attempting to hit Myrrh. Correct. That first attack is going to be a miss, I think, unless a 13 hits Myrrh. And then it draws a second one. This is a 20 to hit.
A 20, yes, that will hit.
Okay. So for the second attack, 5 piercing damage as you are, as an arrow sort of skips across you, cutting Myrrh. And none of them are approaching from the side, but there are 2 of them from the back, one of which appears to be have something on its back. It's a much larger gnoll, and it looks like it has a second head growing up from between its shoulder blades, as you can see what might be a snapping snout of some kind that's poking its way out of its sort of gross fur. And as it lopes along on 4 limbs, looking like some sort of gross demonic hyena hybrid, you can also see that it's accompanied by 3-limbed rubbery skinned sort of looking creatures. They've got limbs growing out of them, and their mouths open up sort of like a flower of teeth. and they are hopping all around, bounding through the grasslands with this, and they are making an attempt to board from the back. That one plus 3 of the mouth demons.
Oh, fantastic.
Icky is right in their path. One of the mouth demons misses and just leaps through the air and lands on the other side of the thing. But the other 2 plus the big knoll land at the back. And you can feel the whole skiff start to fishtail with this thing. With this thing on the back. It's going to make a quick attack, and then we'll go the same order here back through it. So here we go. I need. Okay. I need everyone on the skiff to make me a dexterity saving throw. As you can see this, as the knoll lands, Icky, you can see it sparks begin to form in between the palm of its hand, and he sort of like shoots them out in a gout of flame that engulfs everyone. The DC for this save is DC for that save.
Oh no! 15. Oh yes!
15
I rolled a 15.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, yay, this is good. This is fine.
This is just fine. So it's going to be 15 fire damage total. Half you pass DC 15. So it does. And then 2 of the creatures, one of them moves to hit Rix's crew and latches onto it. And the other one attacks Icky, but misses. So, currently on the skiff, one big-ass knoll with a second head growing between its shoulder blades just cast a fire spell. And then 2 of these, they're about the size of basketballs if basketballs had long clawed arms and split into a flower of teeth with which it tried to devour you. Icky, it is your turn.
Ooh, don't like that.
Make those saves for them for the
yeah, and I rolled damage just in case. It's 14 if they take full, 7 if they take half.
DC.
Okay.
So the DC.
13.
Okay.
Don't love this. Icky's gonna drop her bow and pull out her bone club that she has. Okay. And at the same time cast Shillelagh on that club.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So
that's a bonus action for Shillelagh, yeah?
Yes, it is bonus action to cast Shillelagh.
Okay.
I've never used Shillelagh before, so I just need to like glance at it real quick
really
and make
good.
sure I know what I'm doing with my life.
For all we know, it's worse than your regular attack.
No,
It'll be
it increases the die size that you use.
Yeah.
Your weapon magical and lets you use. If you want, you can use wisdom to as your attack stat instead of strength. I think the big one is it like increases the die type to like something big.
Yeah.
Check.
Well, it's also a magic weapon at first level.
Well, the weapon's damage die becomes a D8.
That's right.
And you can use your spell casting ability instead of strength for attack and damage.
That's fine. Yeah, that works out great for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This thing is menacing over you.
So she's gonna swing with her bone club at it, and do I still get 2 attacks for that? Is that okay?
Yeah, you still get 2 attacks from your extra attack feature. Yes.
It's been a long time since I've played a ranger. Actually, I should roll to actually attack it before I'm rolling. My first attack was a nat 20. I'm so excited. Okay, and then second attack.
Smash that shit.
My second attack was. Run back over to what my attack bonus is. A 17.
17 hits as well.
Awesome. Now I roll my d8s. Yippee. Unfortunately, I don't have Hunter's Mark on this guy, so that's fine. I'm not mad. 8 plus 5 and 8.
5 and 8 damage. All right, so you swing at you with your bone club. It sort of takes the hits and gives you a great big wicked knoll smile. 5 and 8.
Stop smiling.
Stop
it.
Snow. All right.
Bad hyena.
So that's Icky's bonus and action. Blue, you're up next.
So who all is on the skiff as far as bad guys?
There's a big bad guy and 2 small bad guys. Big Knoll spellcaster, mutant of some kind, and it's got some sort of fucked up demons with it.
Okay. So there's him. Is there anyone about to get on?
There's none very close right now. No.
Okay.
You only see one of the ones on that's mounted, and it's keeping its distance. It just shot Mur.
Okay. I'm gonna buzz. Probably sound like a helicopter. I'm gonna buzz and get close and try to do the shove action to knock him off.
Which one? The big one?
Yeah. I probably am not gonna succeed, but we're gonna try.
You are bigger than it, so you'll get advantage.
Okay. Hey. 19.
Here we go. All right. So as you slam into it, it teeters on the off of the back and falls back on its back off of the end of the skiff as you dive bomb it.
Woo! All right. I like it.
All right. Mur, you feel its weight immediately off the edge of the skiff.
Good.
And I'm gonna use some movement after that to rise up a little bit so that I'm not within melee.
Okay. Do you have a flyby attack with that?
No.
Okay.
No.
It will attempt to keep you within its grasp and make an opportunity attack for you. Otherwise,
okay.
It's turn.
I thought I knocked it off.
You knocked, I guess you knocked it off, and you're not, are not anywhere near it. You don't follow up with it or anything. You just like bump it and then fly back.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Mur, it's your turn.
I don't know if it's cheating or what.
All right.
But...
How far away is the one that shot me?
About 20 feet away.
Oh, only that far. How's that demon horse that I dissonant whispered? Where is he at?
It ran off. You don't.
He hasn't come back yet. Perfect.
Yeah, it hasn't come back yet.
Perfect. I insulted his mother thoroughly. All right. Well, if the one that shot me, I can do spells. He's on a demon horse too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let's shatter him.
Ooh.
All right.
Just be like, just flick at it.
Got it.
These guys just need to get the hint. We don't want to kill them. We just want to
con save DC 16.
Okay. Here we go. All right, go for it. Give me some damage.
Okay, that is going to be 3d8.
Almost Gildan's turn.
Don't want any kisses today. No, thank you.
Okay.
Null kisses are the best
15
kisses.
points of thunder damage on a fail, half on a success.
All right.
And that's him and his little demon horse too.
Oh yeah.
Let's get both of them. Why not?
Yeah,
Right.
both of them. All right. The blast hits them both. The demon horse stumbles a bit. Rider falls off. You don't see it get back up, but the horse seems to loop back around.
That's fine.
At the moment, you guys just have the 2 of these little demonic creatures on the back of the skiff. There are no riders within sight of where you're at, although you can see in the shadows behind you that they are still coming, the bulk of them directly behind you. So Gildan, it's your turn.
All right.
Taking damage from your spirit guardians.
Okay, so nearest available target. I'm casting spiritual weapon. I swing at it. I got a 19 to hit. Damage would be 8. And then I'm running up and bopping it in the face with my great club if possible. I got a 21 to hit. And that would be, let me double check my damage on that magic weapons. 1d8 plus 3. Hey! Full on 11. Very magical. Ah! Oh, and this time, the spiritual weapon, instead of being a hag puppet, Gildan's in this like self-obsessed state. It's like it's a replica of Gildan, except he's dressed like Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid movies, because like Gildan's like imagining he's this great warrior now, though he is not. And so it like comes up and crane kicks him in the face.
Gildan has gone full Gildan.
Yes.
Gildan's finally gone full Gildan.
I am a man that would fight for your honor. And like it's just going. The music plays with thaumaturgy. I don't know.
Right.
I'll bet it does too.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
bet
absolutely
Lang.
does.
You know what? I hope that Lang can hear every note.
Just all of
He
it.
can, and like Gildan's also pissing Lang off by like writing these like fanfics where Lang and I have this romance, and Lang's like, "Stop that, stop it!" And he like tries to control and stop my hand.
Torture him. Keep the advantage.
All right, so you've come up and hit
It's a mind game.
hit one of them. There's a bunch of action happening at the very back of this thing. There's these two creatures there. Icky's there, but Proithoik has sort of moved back to help, and then Gildan is popping in wherever he can. These two creatures like leap about as if to attack, but it's now their turn, and they take spiritual spirit guardian damage. So you go ahead and roll that for them.
Ooh, hey! So this round, spiritual guardian damage is a little higher. It's 17.
17. All right. Then I do believe that yes. All right. The two of them disintegrate into ethereal sort of nothingness as their bodies literally disintegrate from your damage. One of them sort of like chewing on Geralt. The other one's about to leap for Icky as they disintegrate. Currently, there are no enemies nearby. It is just the group of you. However, Mur, you can tell with your dark vision, you guys are about to hit a big strand of trees and go like right through it unless you want to make a hard turn right now.
I'll make a hard turn right now. I don't think the skiff should deal with trees.
Okay. So in that case, in order to not send everybody flying out, that's going to be a DC 15 intelligence.
Okay. Well, thankfully, I'm real smart.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and tabletop loot does not let me down. That is a 16.
Right. The last second.
Close. But I manage it. I'm real smart. Thanks, headband of intellect.
And not managed to
I
toss.
forgot you had that.
Mhm.
That's the only reason I made that.
All right, did you turn left or right then to avoid the trees?
Let's go right.
All right. Turning right around the trees, you head towards an open stretch of grassland. It looks like the strand of trees runs along just to your right there for another couple hundred feet. But as near as you can tell right now, and you are almost traveling too fast for your dark vision to like be able to catch up to it. It looks just like grassland. All right. At the moment, it doesn't seem like there are any enemies about. What do y'all do?
Well, we found the gnolls. And we killed a bunch of them. We also figured out what those look like hooved beasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we found what both sets of tracks were.
In blood, Gildan's painting on the skiff from the dead gnolls. How many more gnolls must die?
Yeah.
Clean that off later with prestidigitation. That's fine.
You're cleaning it off on the side.
She's following right behind me, cleaning it. Hey guys, check it out. Ooh, it's clean. Thanks, Mur.
All right.
Icky's going to be asking Rix's crew if they recognize anything in this area, like the landscape or anything.
They look about, and as near as they can tell, they're still in the grasslands. The only settlements that I know of are much further east. There's a big stretch of empty nothing between the river and some of the first settlements.
Useless.
Largely because there's a bunch of feral gnolls that live through here.
We found some.
Ikki, like, under her breath will be like, I see why Rix did not want to die with you.
Gildan's giving Slurp, like, the stink eye, and he casts Thaumaturgy and kind of makes, like, this glowing ring kind of shoot out like a halo. And he points right at Slurp. And he says, "You can only speak the truth now. Why did you lead the gnolls to us?" Gildan's obviously lying and trying to put on a show. But he has to make it look like Slurp is actually evil before he breaks his knees and uses him as bait.
I haven't done anything, Goblin. And then he starts looking to his. We didn't lead anyone here. There's no one. Why in the world?
You know, in the Waste, they train us to tell who's lying and who's not. Touch this stone, and I just pick up a stone, place both your hands upon it.
All right. He looks at it. The others are looking at you as well. The others of Rix's crew. Why would I lead the gnolls here?
I don't know, but the gods have told me. Slort, please, for your own good. If you are honest, the stone will not drop to the ground when you let go.
Give me a deception check.
Oh, freaking A, 18. Do I? Oh, minus 1, 17.
17?
This is worth a shot, guys.
He seems untrustworthy. I rolled a 17. I rolled 1. He seems untrustworthy. He's like reaching out towards the stone, and then like you see Clovis kind of like holding.
If you were innocent, you would be willing to touch it.
He's like, I'm innocent. We didn't do anything.
He pushes them back towards the skiff. Just get back on the skiff. Just get back on there. And then she looks at Gildan. She's like,
You roll and you beat a 17.
We don't even know if you're lying or not. We just don't care.
I don't even know if I'm lying or not yet either.
The thing. We're just like,
Gildan.
Like you
You
could
understand.
be completely honest, and we're just like, Gildan.
If you had a chronomancer trapped in your brain and he was telling you to use one of these guys as bait, you might be willing to do it.
Whose fault is that, Gildan?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah. No, Ikki doesn't
technically
know that yet. Mer hasn't had
I know, I don't, but I'm
It's all-
just saying.
it's all
whose
my fault.
There's
It's all my
spell casting on the wind, and I need Myrrh to make me a charisma save.
Fucking okay.
Okay. Charisma save. Oh, that's my best saving throw.
Our family is falling apart.
15.
Oh, well.
Is
We need
Ellie's
Ellie
just like-
here to balance us.
That's gonna be a 23.
All right, you feel momentarily your essence being ripped from this plane, but you fight it and keep your.
My essence being ripped. Do I feel like I'm being banished? I've been banished.
Yeah, you feel like you're being banished.
Oh my god.
Mom?
And you can see there's more of them. The demonic mounts that you had, scared off and the like. They're back. They have new riders. One of which is that larger one with the thing. There is a 5th rider this time. This creature looks more feline than equine. It has a large, furry tail with a stinger at the end and appears to be covered in horns or some sort of growth.
How far away are they?
They are about 60 feet away, directly behind you.
Oh, 60 feet away. Okay. Am I still
we're
driving
moving,
this?
right?
You guys are still moving.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
trying
Well,
to.
60 feet away is just enough for me to viciously mock who I think may have tried to banish me. Rude. I know I'm a tiefling, and I'm an infernal, but they're the ones who need to be banished. So he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
DC 16. And I will say, oh, that's funny. You're giving my middle finger a boner. And I'm just gonna, as we drive by.
All right. Thank you. That was a wisdom save.
Yes.
And the DC was 16. And it fails that by 1.
Excellent.
5 riders are coming up on you. One of them is riding some other sort of demonic creature, a horned feline with the stinging tail. The one who was casting spells is just riding one of those demon horses.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I viciously mocked. So, I Weeby takes 8 psychic damage, and he has disadvantage on his next attack roll.
All right. They're gaining on you, momentarily at least. That was Mur's attack.
And I'll let them know. I'm like, oh, by the way, we're being followed. Both hands back on the wheel.
Mur immediately retaliates from her attack. How about the rest of y'all?
They were very rude. They tried to banish me. I had a vacation, but...
I can chuck a guiding bolt their way, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're running low on spells.
No, I actually have plenty of spell slots. I don't have high level spells, but I kind of don't.
I'm curious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim.
I have yeah.
How you on spells, guys?
I have 2 second level and I have 4 first level, and most of my attacks, like
11 by melee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
shorter range. Icky. We got some guys with guns. I'm like, shoot them.
Yeah.
Right?
They're pistols. They're really close range. He's trying. Shot a couple.
Yeah. Trying real hard. Worthless. I'm not going to let him be used as bait, but, like, give me a reason. Come on.
Give me a reason.
So
I got
firing
24 to guiding bolt 1 at first level.
A rider or a mount?
Rider. Save the mounts.
Okay. Icky and Baloo then. Save the mounts.
I know we're going pretty fast, but Icky's gonna go ahead and like point at the ground and cast spike growth behind them too.
Nice.
Okay. What's the
Hopefully. It's an action. The range is 150 feet. Let's see. 20-foot radius centered on a point.
Oh, yeah, 40
it is it's round. It's not
a square.
Yeah. So 20-foot radius. Yeah. Difficult terrain for the duration, which is 10 minutes. When an area moves into or within the area, when a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels.
All right, they're moving pretty quickly, and move their full distance through the spike growth, which is going to be what, 8d4.
Yeah.
Damage? You want to go and roll that?
Yeah, I
did 19 points of damage with my guiding bolt.
19 points of damage with the guiding bolt. Any particular rider you were going for? There are 2 of them that are rather large. The other 3 seem the smaller gnolls.
I'm going for the biggest looking one there, and I'm going to say, not so big.
All right. That's the one that's riding the...
He's also got this faint glow around him, and the others are going to look at him. They're going to be like, he's covered in heaven's light, and maybe they'll fight each other.
How about Blue? Mad about it. How about... you're still a flying insect.
Is it still canon that my cyborg guy works in wild shape?
I believe so. We've used it that way before, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do like a little laser beam attack on one of them.
Scorching ray.
Yeah.
Which one?
One of the hangers on, not the big guy.
All right, one of the hangers on. Gotcha.
Yeah. Go
for it. AC 13.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly. Is it 2 rays or 3? It's 3 rays.
3.
Yeah.
Is there anybody riding alone?
Yes, they're all alone this time. There's all just single riders on their mounts.
Okay, I got like a 20-something to hit one. I missed with one, and a 13 hit, Jim.
13 AC 13. Yeah. What's up?
Okay.
Every mount that goes through the growth takes 24 points of damage.
All right. Cool. Let's. And it's slowed because they had to do their movement there. All right, awesome.
Nice.
Man, get their ankles.
Yeah,
Take that.
I did
They're real
9
pain
and
underfoot.
Mama said, "Fuck you up."
I did 9 damage and 9 damage with 2 rays to one guy, and if he has resistance, I ignore it next to that feat.
Gotcha. All right, so you did 9 and 9. Those 3 rays. What about the third one?
I missed. I rolled a 3
I got
plus 5. Yeah.
That one's if you're just targeting one, it's sort of like you burn a hole through him as it falls off its mount. And
All right.
okay, so there's that one. Blue just as a giant flying locust shot a laser beam out of his eye at this one. They are slowed down by Icky's spike growth, and you quickly
My favorite thing to do.
but not before they are able to make a round of attacks while you're still sort of in their range as they try to. So the one that's on like the big scorpion-tailed demon cat, it has a like a horned recurve bow that it's attempting to shoot. Let's see, one of those hits and is going to deal. Let's see.
Who is it hitting?
It's 5. It's gonna be someone at the back. So we had Icky at the back, Gildan was at the back, and Bekroithwig was at the back. So it looks like it's gonna hit Gildan for 8 piercing damage on Gildan.
What it rolled to hit? A bajillion?
I rolled a 19. I forget you do have a kind of a high AC. You rolled a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that should hit me. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And then I need
how much damage? Apologies.
9 piercing. And I need everybody to make me a saving throw as a wall of fire pops up right in front of your skiff. And
What kind of save?
It's a wall of fire, so I believe that is a dexterity save.
Yes.
Oh, good.
That's what I love to hear as a ranger.
Right?
No, that's cool. Whatever. Guess I'm just gonna.
Fire resistant, even better.
Me too.
All right.
Oh, I'm mad.
Tiefling hat.
Me.
22 damage total. Half.
I did an 18 on my dex save.
Total.
What was the DC?
DC is 15.
Oh,
I got a 21 on my dex save. Half is 11. Half the
it
game
was
is 5.
22 points of damage, you said? So I have it down to 11, and then I half it down to 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Baloo's not in it, not caught in it. I'm going to roll for everybody else. How did Icky come out?
okay. I was a 13, so.
So you take the full 22.
I sure do.
So does Slorp.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, not Slorp. He's contributed so much to
Hey,
this.
point the rock at him.
Ah!
How about Bekroithwig? Actually, oh shit! Everybody within, everybody that's in the back at least gets a +2 to their saving throw.
Oh, yeah, because of Bekroithwig, so that's a 15.
Oh my gosh! Wait, let me.
I believe it might be even more. I forget what his.
Let me just.
Good old Paladin Bekroithwig. Extra.
I'm gonna have him break his oath so he loses all those. Sorry, I don't know. There's something about that
He's
extra.
only breaking his oath to be Mary's Ellie, and that's fine. That's the only oath I'm like. Or if Ellie's not interested, and then I pimp him out.
Or if Ellie becomes a goddess.
Baloo gets
That's
him
very
first.
true. Mur would be okay with that.
Yeah, +2. All right.
Might be better.
The one with the extra head growing between its shoulder blades casts another spell and it causes the grasslands to set up to light on fire right as you're passing through it, singeing everyone, potentially killing Slorp. Actually, it's not have enough
I'm
hit
gonna go
points
spare the dying on him. Frame up
okay.
for later.
Before you kick him off to his fate. But their mounts are not a magical construct that can keep this pace up forever, and the spike growth hinders them considerably. As you blast through the wall of fire, it's a minute goes by, a second, and you don't. After 2 or 3 minutes, you don't sense any sign of pursuers. And you're passing like a low hill just on your right. There's some trees that you sort of zip between, and it's like I said, it's been a couple of minutes, but nothing has pursued you so far.
I really wanted to kill the one that tried to banish me. Oh well. Next time.
There's always a next time.
We were lucky to get away.
Oh, we were fine. We had them.
Most people who try to kill you usually find you again, so we will kill him later.
Half of them who've tried to kill me are dead, so, you know.
A couple of them.
go search on.
All right. The night is quiet as you pass through the savannah. Slorp is all right, spared, not going to die, but the rest of Rick's crew seems very beat up. How about you guys?
It feels pretty okay.
Show everyone what I was working on. I've been carving a squash to look like Baloo. Can I hold it up? Can I show everyone?
Baloo, and it's nighttime, but it hasn't been nighttime for very long. I'll ask Baloo if, Baloo, would you like to drive the night, and then I will drive in the daytime like we have been doing? Or would we like to stop and rest for the night?
Baloo and Jen Katie did lands and turns back into Baloo, and we shouldn't stop. You know,
Okay.
Who knows? They could still be tracking us just at a slower pace, expecting us to stop. Maybe we should keep going. So,
Well, thankfully,
I'll
we
take-
don't leave very much tracks, so...
Yeah. I'll take over.
This is true.
All right, Mer will get her rest in then, so she can drive during the daytime when everyone else has to hide in a little hut.
Right. Right. Okay. So Baloo takes over.
Just don't stop.
Right.
All right.
And you do not stop for the evening, right?
Nope.
Goodness.
But I get my really sleep.
Mm-mm.
My beauty
keep
rest.
going.
Mer's beauty rest.
Not after seeing all that mess.
Right. After within the hour, Rix's crew is asking that you're like it's they'd like to get off. They'd like to leave just because they don't want to get too far away from Rix. They want to figure out what happened, but you get a further enough away that they're not worried about a bunch of gnolls coming up on them in the middle of the night before they ask Baloo. Like to depart here if we can.
You can.
Yeah.
Go and die with my brother.
Just watch yourself.
Still headed in the same direction then?
We're going east, right?
Yeah.
East by northeast.
Yeah.
Right. We will catch up if we can. I hope that your brother is safe. They as they sort of like face down the prospect of going and finding him.
Yeah. Are they still critically injured?
Yeah, they're all of them.
Don't. Icky will like set a hand like on your forearm, just like don't just. If they die, they die.
Okay. All right. I just like taking care of people.
Let nature have its way.
All right. What? Nope. Gildan's gonna go ahead and cure all of them except Slorp, and he's just gonna point his stone at Slorp.
All right.
Which of them seems the most competent? Because if Mer felt the skiff slowing down, she probably would have woken up.
Frankie. Frankie's most competent.
Frankie's
pretty professional. Chloe as well.
Mer would have given those two some heals as well before she takes her rest because they're just gonna like recharge. So.
Yeah. Frankie's a kind of a wild man, though. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's all beat up.
Remind them of an invincible army that they can go join. If
No,
they need
do
reinforcements,
not
go to the
listen. Do not
invincible
listen to
army.
them. I saved your lives. You all owed me. Here's
He's like,
heal.
oh yeah, we remember you talking about that earlier today.
Well, they all saw me fight, right? They all saw
all
me in my
saw-
magnitude. I incinerated guys.
Yeah, they all saw my sweet drifting moves. And
Frankie saw Baloo turn into a giant beetle. He was
I just
like,
show them my goblin Popeye spinach
Yeah.
muscles, and it's just like, look.
Yeah, Frankie, how you feel about me?
So you
How does
guys
Frankie-
mug for them and pose and show off as they're leaving.
Mer knows she doesn't have to. She's already impressive enough. She's just really cool.
Healed up and spirits bolstered, they set off northward to find Rix and the rest of their crew.
Can I rewind that real quick? Just 1 second.
Sure. Yeah. What's up?
Icky wants to take one of their guns.
No,
For
Gildan will not let you.
What do you?
They are my brother's property, and thus they are my property.
No, they work for your brother, and they belong to your brother.
I did not ask your permission. She's going to take a gun.
I'm not going to let you.
Thanks, Jim.
What are you offering Geralt in return, and how, like, Gildan, you're sort of like coming at it. It's like this
No.
Icky's Icky, and then there's like this hippo man Geralt, and so there's like towering over Gildan, great big mounds of animalistic humanoid.
I'm the Lorax, so I can pick myself up by the butt and float up to their heads and kind of float around in them. I'm just like, no, the thing is, you're not disarming them. That's not right.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
What do you want for a pistol?
Let me see what I got.
He's got more than one.
Yeah. I'm just seeing what I can trade for it. She'll hold up any number of her like 8 javelins and
He takes the stoutest looking one and hands you a pistol.
Cool. Yeah. I'll take that. Thanks.
All right. It's got one shot.
Whatever.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
I can find more. Clearly people use guns.
They do. Yes, they do. There are a variety of them. Anyone skilled in alchemist's tools and with the proper materials can make gunpowder.
Awesome.
I've got an alchemy book about slime.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We use some slime bullets.
Yes. Shoots snot wads.
Thanks, Mer.
That was Wendy more than Mer.
Trying to go for something cool here, Mer. All right. Rix's crew parts and heads northward across the nighttime wasteland. The rest of you carry on eastward to search out your quarry, your prey, while Mer sleeps, and the rest of you. Let's get a last sort of round. What's everyone do on this leg of the trip tonight? Blue's driving. Anything does while he's driving?
No. Well, if we had a free moment while we were being chased and he was the katydid thing, he would have searched the horizon for more fire. I didn't mention it at the time because I was worried about getting that a long rest.
Yeah. Really, what it is that you see that there's the fire that you escaped from, and that really kind of seemed to be it. But it did look like a massive one that is now blazing out of control across the grassland.
Maybe it's for the best. Okay.
Not the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. You're piloting the skiff eastward, then keeping an eye out on the horizon. No more fires or anything like that you see. And then how about Gildan?
If Gildan has, I think I've made enough progress on my squash carving a Baloo to begin one of Ellie. So I'm just going to kind of sit there, start working. I hope to get the whole family, but it's just kind of a hobby to pass the time.
Oh, yeah.
Squash carvings. Yeah.
Certainly.
Can I eat it before it goes bad?
It may not. I've got magics I can spend to preserve these guys. Think about putting them in little jars, like with preservative, and they kind of float. Kind of like heads in a bottle. I don't know.
I just would like to eat fresh squash, but whatever.
And how about Icky? So Gildan sort of carving squash into the night. Mer's asleep. Ellie's passed back out. Kroithoik's on watch for a while. Blue's doing his thing. How about Icky?
He's never cast this much magic before. She is also gonna take a nap. She's tired. It's been a day.
Good.
So it's just Baloo and Gildan burning the midnight oil.
Imagine it's like
nighttime.
I'll sleep when it's time to go to sleep.
and then Ellie and then Mer. Like they put Ellie in the middle to protect.
That's really cute.
Go ahead and level your guys up to level 9.
All right.
Is this it? Is this the next level of Gildan?
I have reached skill now.
Level spells. Who knows what?
Level spell.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at some of those.
Yeah.
How do you level up in this thing?
Bye.
So, you speed across the savannah heading towards what you believe when you were plotting out this portion of the journey, you were making your way towards a village that was pretty much directly due east of the Horn River. As let me see real quick, I'm gonna find what the name of the village is real quick. But as you get all right, I'll get to you in just a second. As you speed your way across to this village that you were you had identified as sort of a way stop on your way towards this magic circle that you're looking for somewhere out in the wastes. Below you can see as the sun begins its first hints of rising above the horizon, you can in fact see some sort of campsite or something that's tucked into a shelf on like a little cliffside. Not very tall, just like a 20-foot rocky escarpment, and in the shadow of it is this campsite that's been set up. You're not as big as the settlement that you were on the lookout for, but it is sort of the first signs of civilization or anything that you've seen this entire night.
Is everybody asleep?
This is late at night. I think everybody's probably still asleep. Yeah.
Okay. We don't really need supplies, but maybe we could stop in for a second. Yeah, maybe. Ask directions. I say why not?
Okay. You say why not? Stop at the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you stop here, and it's like three wastelanders emerge from one of the larger tents as you pull up, and they look like actually looks more like merchants, maybe the kind of folk that you'd see in Trade Town who come in from the hinterlands when there's a great big trade festival going on. Looks to be let me see here. Looks like an orc woman who is dressed in sort of traveling clothes, very tough and sort of designed to weather the elements, but also to keep the sun off of her. And in the darkness of the tent behind her, you can see several other figures who are kind of staring out of it at you. And she asks from the tent entrance, "Who goes there?"
Sorry. I'm Blue of the Broken Circle. Coming in from the west. We're looking for the name of that town. We're on our way there. How close are we?
There is a settlement not far from here. Keep east across the stretch of scrubland, and then when you get to a patch of cactus, it's not far from there, at the base of those hills further beyond the horizon there. She's pointing in the first light of the sun. You can see there's like some hills somewhere and a great big expanse of dry brushland between the camp and these hills that stretch off.
Good. You guys doing okay? You
Well enough.
Okay. Good. Just like to keep an eye out for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know.
You see they're being very sort of standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's getting the signal. He's like, thanks, and gets back on the skiff.
Yeah.
He might even wake up Murr if it's around that time.
Yeah, it's getting to be sunrise.
He needs a nappy too. Although we're about to be in town, so.
So as you sort of wake up Murr, the two of you catch each other up, I guess.
Yes.
you can see this this village start to form.
Before we get to this village, is Gildan sleeping?
I would assume. Is Gildan still asleep?
Well, here's the question. At some point, Gildan would have gone to sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm still sleeping yet or not. I was up with Baloo, assuming first watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would have gone to bed, and then I would have gotten up.
Probably still asleep then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wake up Icky.
Okay.
While I drive, we can have a mom talk.
Okay. You muted TK.
Mom talk.
I did not realize I was muted in both places.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, because it's like, is this like a mom talk or is this like a mom talk?
He doesn't know. Yeah. So yeah, Baloo wakes me up. Like, okay, I'll take over. Go to sleep, Baloo. Icky. We need
Thanks.
to talk.
Yeah, Icky will wake up and like sort of like blink one eye at a time. What is it, Mer?
Right, well, just keep your voice low. I do not need Gildan to hear this.
Oh no. What has he done?
Question of the century. Well, you see, and I'll actually cast silence over Gildan's like sleepiness, so that way I know he can't hear us.
Okay.
All right. So, Gildan approached me yesterday, and he said, "I cannot tell Icky or Baloo because they will kill me." Basically.
Oh no. This is like immediate like sitting up very straight like
Lang can hear through a silence spell? I don't think so.
Gildan actually has no idea how.
No, I like that Judge Gildan's tinnitus.
Stops there by alerting him.
Oh, jeez.
Like, what? That would be funny and ironic.
And she says, I wanted to strangle him right on the spot, but
and yet he is alive.
yes. Well, it's unfortunately complicated. So, do you remember what happened with the pyramid before the summer began?
Like Icky begins these breathing exercises that Mer taught her.
I recommend that. You're going
She's
to
ready.
need them.
She's
I have reason to believe he was a bit cagey
That's fine.
about it, so I am not
Let the figure in.
100% affirmative, but I have reason to believe that Gildan is not alone inside his skull, and that the presence of
what does Icky assumes that this is slang,
yes,
but she doesn't understand it. Like she doesn't understand the phrase.
mm-hmm.
What is
Words. That there's more than one consciousness inside of Gildan currently, potentially. Do you remember when that time we went to hell?
Oh no.
And you weren't completely in control of yourself and your actions. There was like someone else in there guiding you.
Yes.
It is like I imagine it is something similar to that, but all the time, and it's you know who inside of him, just living in there.
Because like it was the immediate like hell example. It's like there is a devil in.
I don't think it is a devil specific. I think it is Lang.
Oh.
Yes. And that is probably why he's on about this servitor army and the nonsense he's been on that lately. Although it hasn't really surprised me. I could see it coming from Gildan either way.
Yes,
But
I thought that was just Gildan.
I thought so too. But apparently there is other motives driving him. He seemed bit cagey and having a difficult time telling me about this, but
That sounds like Gildan.
it does sound like Gildan, unfortunately. But
How long has it been in his head?
imagine since the pyramid that is the last time we saw Lang.
Would Icky have any idea whether or not there was like a time limit on something like this? Like if it's something like, Icky sees this as like an infestation. That is what Icky imagines. And so after...
You gotta exercise Gildan. Give him an exorcism.
Yeah, after
Hell exorcism.
an infestation, you gotta burn that wood to get all the termites out.
Yeah.
Do we have to burn the wood? Would Icky suspect that? She doesn't really know that much about this type of thing.
Whatever wild superstitious thing Icky knows is whatever wild superstitious thing Icky knows.
We have to kill him.
I was wondering if you would say that. The reason I didn't outright attack him or kill him or throw him off the skiff is because if it is Lang in his hand, then he might have some of Lang's powers that he is hiding because he believes he is incognito, and it was difficult to fight him the first time. I can only imagine it would be difficult the second time. Now, if we wanted to grab a pillow and while he's sleeping over there, just go for it. I am down. But I'll leave it up to you.
How do we know where Gildan ends and Lang begins?
That's an excellent question. I feel like they are both insane. So maybe I do not know how much they have blended together. If it is just as if you mixed two types of grain together, or if you've mixed two kinds of liquids together. I don't know if they can be separated.
And Icky tries to think about who else has changed like dramatically in their behavior lately. Does Baloo have Lang in his mind too?
I don't think so.
How do you know?
I don't. However, I have known Baloo for a long time. He is very moody, and he has mood swings. It's not uncommon. And he wasn't at the pyramid getting tortured by Lang for an indefinite amount of time, so...
He does want to flood us.
He does want to flood everything. We won't rule him out as a suspect, but I think it is primarily infested Gildan.
We should kill them both, make sure.
Or...
But she does like a big toothy grin, like it's a joke.
Yeah. More like seriously considers it. Oh, yes.
It feels like one of those things that's like just kind of like thrown out there like, eh?
And Mara's kind of like,
They make lots of jokes about killing people, I imagine.
I imagine so.
A lot of very unconvincing.
So,
we could always kill Gildan first and then see if that changes Baloo any.
Oh yes. Perhaps Baloo's desire to murder people will get stronger, and then we will have to kill him too.
We will know. And if it's less, maybe he's just calmed down. I don't know.
Oh yes.
It could be Baloo. I don't know what goblin pheromones do to the bugbears.
Oh, that's disgusting. Stop. My tongue tastes bad. Stop it.
Sorry.
Yeah. So as Icky and Mur have their mom talk.
Yeah, and she's gonna be like, just keep mum about it. So I won't say anything to Gildan about this. I just wanted you in on the loop so we can better keep Ellie out of this. I didn't tell her about the sister. Oh, also, Gildan threatened to sell Ellie to Ellie's sister. He can communicate with her.
What?
Yes, I know. I always...
That's not entirely true.
End it now.
That's a deception check.
End the episode now.
That's a deception check. That's not technically.
Because like Icky's like settled back into deciding not to kill Gildan and just immediately.
Because I recall like it wasn't
I was
Gildan
deceiving.
Like, trying to double cross. Yeah.
The other person.
Yes,
I
yeah,
did
and
not actually
she'll
try to say.
elaborate on that, but that was just me going before I forget.
Yeah. The moment Mur words it like that, though, he's like raptor
Mur
tree.
would have definitely worded it better. She'd have been like, "Oh, and Gildan's in contact with Ellie's sister.
Oh, welp, everyone's awake.
He wants to. I cast silence. It's just us. We're
Oh,
great."
well, yeah. Okay.
As all of these secrets are being divulged, you're
Yes.
crossing this dry scrub land. You've left behind the last trees you saw were on fire from the wildfire. This is like just a rolling expanse of dry grass and tough, hardy, many of which are partially alive and carnivorous shrubs. You crest a low hill and see in front of you a crude palisade of scrap, basically, with a thin ring of huts and lean-tos and other sorts of buildings surrounding what appears to be a gigantic sinkhole in the ground. And we'll get back to that the next time we play as to what is in the settlement and what's there. Really appreciate you guys coming out tonight and hanging out with us while the party escapes a trap from a as yet unknown assailant or adversary, and hopefully gets to the bottom of all of these mysteries that surround them and their compatriots. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us in chat, keeping us company, and laughing at the shenanigans. Let's go back through our players, see how everybody is, and maybe where we can find them online and what they're up to. Josh, why don't you kick us off here?
I'm doing pretty good. All I can think about is I can cast Awaken now.
Oh yes, can't cast Awaken now.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna find the only tree, and he's gonna be my friend. I'm good. You can find me at Beer for Charity on Twitter. And for right now, that's mostly what I'm doing. I'm catching up on some art stuff and art projects. And you can check out my stuff and say hi.
All right, excellent. There you go. Thanks. TK, how about yourself?
Doing great, Jim.
Good.
Stressed out.
I survived. So,
Status quo.
How else is a bunch of like CR 1/2 gnolls going to take on a party of 8th level people to set it on fire?
Yeah, that's true. No, I wasn't stressed about that. That was delightful. I'm more stressed about. I forgot about the thing where Gildan was trying to double cross Corsica.
Oh
All right.
I was like,
We'll be in talks.
I'm so mad. What? Icky's, she's gonna lose her mind now. That was a poor choice, Mur. You could have kept that secret. This will go poorly. But I got a gun now, and that's good. Icky's got a gun.
Silence spell. Best silencer.
Oh my gosh. TK, write spooky stories on the internet. You like spooky stories? Go to tkjwrites.com. I actually paid for my website this month. It went great. I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I did it. Follow me on Twitter. TK joins the fray. Tuesdays, I am on Don't Split Podcast Network. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm here hanging out. Fridays, I post little bitty bite-sized articles for newer DMs that like to immerse people in their games. Tomorrow's will be about things like ciphers and single-use magic items. It'll be very fun. It's delightful. My last ones this month were feasts and festivals, basically about trying to create your own food, traditional foods and cultural foods within the context of whatever culture you're in. So it's fun. Have a good time. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.
Cool. And Lindy.
Oh my gosh. Felt good getting back at these characters again. Those gnolls were very interesting. Mur's just like, silly demon dogs. Tricks are for devils. You're silly. That was super great. Next week will be real interesting. Can't wait for that. And finally had that mom talk. We've been waiting like weeks for a mom talk. So finally was able to fill a key in, and I will be messaging TK secret mom plans. But yeah, you can find me online, Laugh Love Lindy, where I play way too many tabletops. Should definitely check out tomorrow night on Grimjack2502's channel for Invisible Sun, DM'd by the fantastic Grant. I'm real excited. It's my first session. I can't wait. And then Tuesday evening on my channel, I'm running a new campaign called Mists of Ravenloft, and it's super awesome gothic horror. You should check it out. It's gonna get real creepy on Tuesday. Lots of marionettes.
There you go. Excellent. Excellent. And how about you, Grant?
Hey everybody, my name's Grant. A lot of fun. I have to apologize to TK because when she wanted one of those guns, I thought she was going to forcibly take the guns from them, not trade. I forgot that's not the way Icky works. I was like, what? We deny them healing and then we're going to disarm them? I thought I was evil for wanting to, like, use them as bait. It's funny how, like, Fishbrain, Golden's like a dog. He has no sense of anything. He's just like, what? I live in the now. What?
Yeah, no. Icky's gonna take one of those guns as payment for keeping them safe. And essentially them not paying their, like, not pulling their weight during that fight. Like, really?
There's reasons for that. But yeah, at first I was just like, we can't disarm them. Which is weird that Gildan would be like, no. So I am running Invisible Sun on Grimjack's channel tomorrow night. I am scared to death of Gildan Goblin having 5th level spells.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His whole thing's gonna be like, we need to summon Ling so we can planar bind him to us, or it's like we need to do some ridiculous shenanigans. He always has scrying prepared now. He always has Legend Lord prepared now. Gildan is horrible. He's a horrible human being, or goblin,
So
whatever he considers. Just running around bestow curse, then taking a minute to cast gush spells on the entire party, and it's like, well, I went from tiny servants to people servants. Hello, my little friend.
It's only if we fail our saving.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to cast bestow curse.
We should gush each other. That's what we should do.
You gotta land that bestow curse.
It's not that hard. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. You can find me all over Twitter. I'm in Twitch. I'm on 9 different shows 7 days a week. I'm a producer here at WebDM for the Twitch channel. Catch us on Starward Bound. I believe this Sunday RPG in returns. Yep. If you see me at PAX Unplugged, definitely say hi if you are so inclined. I love meeting friends and fans of the shows. It is my jam. So back to you, Jim.
Awesome. So, I really appreciate everybody who, whatever it is that you guys do, coming and hanging out, doing the retweets, telling your friends about it. So we are next week actually not going to be here because it's Thanksgiving in the US, and then the week after is PAX Unplugged, and so probably not going to be there as well. So I'd imagine between now and the end of the new year, you can catch us as you can, as the holidays will come first, people traveling and the like. But rest assured, there will be Thursdays somewhere out there where we come back and see what goes on here with this band of misfits and ne'er-do-wells. And they now have 5th level magic. So there you go. WebDM will be at PAX Unplugged, which we could only do without the support of people out there. Subscribe to us on Patreon, watch our videos, that kind of thing. Really appreciate it, guys, because without that, we wouldn't be able to go to these places and meet the people that we meet and mine that beautiful content that we do whenever the record button is going. So really appreciate that, guys, and keep your eye out for more videos from that. And if you're going to be at PAX Unplugged, definitely let us know. We'd love to do some gaming with you, or at the very least say hi and hang out. Otherwise, we will be back here in, sometime early December. Looks like December 6th will be the next time that we're back. So catch us then. And until then, have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you later.